Hello, good morning, everybody. About like 3:15 a.m. on February 26, 2021. This is your boy, Kyle, aka Vulcan Wolverine. I'm gonna wait for some people to get in the chat. If you are in chat, welcome to the channel or the stream. I felt like I had to do something, had to jump on and do a live stream, and I got some pretty important information online. So I'm going to show that. I hope you guys are doing okay. I'm not doing okay. I'm not doing okay, but welcome to the stream. And what's been going on with you guys? I've just been kind of wrestling with the remote neural manipulation. Hey, DePlume. DePlume says, hey, you're live. Lucky me. Hey, welcome to the stream. Hey, Nadia. Nadia says, hi, Kyle. How are you guys doing? I got a headache and I got to go. Yeah, DePlume says nobody is okay. LOL. I know it's pretty rough, but maintaining, yeah. It's like it's like we're kind of drowning, so we have to tread water. Just make sure to tread water and not flail about. You know, that's kind of the #1 rule. Hey, Elena. Elena says hi, Kyle. I've got something important tonight, guys, or this morning. It's like 3:20 here. And I thought I'd better do something because I woke up like an hour and a half ago. I got to go to my aunt's this morning, and then I've got a psychiatrist appointment, which, you know, I used to kind of like be looking forward to them because I could tell my psychiatrists were listening a little bit, but now I go to psychiatrist appointments and I dread them because it's just giving me medicine, and it's like she knows that there's something going on with this, but she, you know, I think I've got to work harder on maybe, I don't know, she's a learning psychiatrist, but I want to get some kind of like form, like a something written that I could bring, you know, to the FBI or something. I don't know. I'm very black pilled. I'm like, man, we're just hitting walls. Let me show y'all this positive thing that we can all sign. I think it can make a difference if I show you guys this and everybody kind of signs up. Let me see. They changed some stuff on StreamYard. But I hope you guys are hanging in there. Let me show you guys this. And then we can kind of just chat. I brought something else too, but I'm feeling pretty sick right now. So, okay, and I put the link in the description too. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna get my video up. Tab. I'm gonna read some of the like people would sign up for this, and I just signed up for it. I didn't give any money, but I did share it on. So let me go ahead and read it, guys. DePlume says just uploaded mac and cheese video. LOL. So DePlume just uploaded on her channel. Check out her macaroni and cheese channel. She makes. Says hi, Kyle. Hello, fellow TIs and perps. Well, there's only 7 people in chat and me, so I guess maybe later on may watch this. But check it out, guys. Look, it's on change.org. Joint congressional hearing. So the deal is that this is a petition. So this is what kind of black pills me about it, but it's good to do. We need to be doing this stuff and signing it. I shouldn't insult the petition, but the petition's to Joe Biden. The petition's to Joe Biden for joint congressional hearings and DOJ investigation of microwave assaults on U.S. citizens. the fact that it's a petition to Joe Biden kind of sucks. He's going to do whatever the military-industrial complex wants him to do. Okay, DePlume. Yeah, I was just saying, go check out your channel. But yeah, macaroni and cheese is awesome. I'm gonna watch it. I'm definitely gonna watch it. Okay, guys. So this is a petition for the Havana syndrome. And I hate that name. Like, I hate it that they call this the Havana syndrome, because I think they did that. I think they're giving it that moniker so that people will just relegate it to Havana, Cuba, right? And this is going on all around the world. Like, people are being tortured and neurally manipulated all over the world. And I hear, like, I kind of see some targeted individuals saying, yeah, I've got Havana syndrome. I'm not quite sure, because it's something that the public does kind of, it's a name the public does know, but I think it's a little bit of a little trap to use that terminology, because it makes people think, oh, in Cuba, right? Hey, Elizabeth. Elizabeth says, hi, Kyle, it's Lizzie. I just wanted to say hi. I've been doing a lot of Bible study and prayer, because it's the only thing that brings me peace. All kinds of politicians are aware of the situation. Yeah, but it's the elites in charge. They rule, unfortunately. Then the criminals have branched off and doing their own criminal evil doings. Yeah. I think it's, unfortunately, it's not a bunch of independent criminals anymore. And I know that's where our mind wants to go sometimes. Like, this is some independent criminals microwaving people, and maybe the government will step in or the police will step in, but this is the people that are supposed to protect us, like the organizations, the intelligence agencies, law enforcement, FBI, the DOJ, all those people that are supposed to be protecting us, are doing these experimental torture programs compartmentalized inside their groups. So it's really the people that you call the top dogs for stopping terrorism that are murdering us. So that's one of our problems. That's why it's been so hard to get awareness out and everything, because it's like, even when people know, they're like, oh, who's doing this is a big deal. It's the biggest power structure on the earth. And I'm not trying, like, trust me, guys, when I say this stuff, I'm not like, oh, they're so great and they can't be beat and our God's not bigger than any of their plans. But what I've kind of learned in my life is you can't underestimate something that can really hurt you. You got to know, like, who it is and what their capabilities are to even get close, to even start fighting them. Yeah, Elizabeth says it's also evil and just unbearable at times. I agree. I'm having a lot of trouble. Y'all can maybe tell. I'm just a lot. It's really overwhelming. Man, I always think of these things and I'm like, man, I don't want to go there. That's the thing that I don't want to say. And then, because it's what I thought of, I end up saying it anyway. I'll just go ahead and say it. This is just me, and it's just kind of like what I'm going through. So don't let it, we have really good stuff going on, but I'm like looking at my grandma, and she's really, really strong, but it's inevitable. What is happening is inevitable because people die, right? And she's really, her genetics are strong. She fights through stuff that other people, they wouldn't have lasted as long, right? And then I'm like, well, I'm looking at this, I'm using defenses and stuff, but I'm looking at an inevitable disintegration of my brain and my body. So I'm like, man, we have a short period of time. For me, some of you guys who maybe it just started out, and I think y'all are good. I think in the next couple of years, this is going to iron out, like it's going to change. But I'm like, for me, it's like, I don't know. That's a depressing thought. We're going to get through this stuff. I'm just feeling it right now. And the problem is too, and you guys with remote neural manipulation, y'all understand this. So it's like, I'm getting hurt and tortured, and it's been going on so long, and I've got, they're running things in my head. So the things that they're running in my head make me feel like, oh man, I feel like I can't go on, right? So it's that neural manipulation kind of mixes into how long the torture is going. So it's like if I could lift that remote neural manipulation off and I was just dealing with the bodily torture or whatever through the years, I'd be like, yeah, let's roll. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of that battle. And I just listened to Dave Case's CD, like when I went to sleep. That really helps. It's hard to do it all the time though. Like I feel you guys that are just like, man, I can't listen to that thing. It's so annoying. It's gotten to where I can listen to it when I sleep. But when I'm awake, I don't really want to listen to it, you know. But hopefully this will help. Really, Lee says, I was invited to be on the EU coalition. Kyle, that's awesome. Get in there, and you know, y'all do some great stuff. On like what they're doing and put it out. That's what I always wanted to do. Always wanted to, like, because I moderated on late night calls after Ella. I know Midge, but I don't talk to her much now. And I really wanted to, some of these bigger organizations, like, you know, make videos promoting like what they're doing. And I've done it a little bit, but the thing with targeted justice is, and y'all know with targeting, it's like, we don't want to telegraph our actions, right? Because then they can be stopped, because it's a huge system that can be like, oh, well, they're trying to do this, you know, to fix the targeting. So I was like, I really wanted to, you know, what's targeted justice doing? I'll talk to Midge and put that stuff out. But it was a thing about like, we don't want to telegraph exactly what we're doing, you know. But I'm kind of at a point where it's just like, we have to figure out stuff and promote stuff and tell each other stuff that can't be stopped. Even if they know about it in advance, it's going to roll on, it's going to work. You know what I'm saying? It's tough. You know, it's really tough. Elizabeth says, through Don Jr. and other public figures that a friend has written to about, it's so huge though. That's what the response has been on how huge it is. Okay, you said my ex-husband is a doc, an elected official, and told me he did this and it's reversible. What do you mean what's not reversible? My ex-husband is a doc, an elected official, and told me he did this. Oh, told you he did it to you and it's not reversible. Well, it's not reversible right now. I mean, like from my understanding and how I'm experiencing it, it sticks to you. Like the V2K is always running. You know, always have electromagnetic fields around my head. The targeting is zoned in on me and stuck to me, right? But I mean, that can change if the programs change, if the awareness changes, if the UN could maybe declare sanctions on these weapons or declare sanctions on the torture. You know, I think that's why I hit so heavy on the UN guys. I think I've said this before, but you've got all these different countries. It's not like we can just stop it in America. Like a lot of awareness is coming out. There's a lot of pressure and a quickening. You know, the Cuban embassy workers, a lot more is going to be learned about them in another Senate, or either in the House of Representatives or the Senate. There will be another investigation on that. I forgot where I was going, but it's going to have to be like, and I know I have doubts about how long it's going to take, or if the UN's going to help us. I'm kind of getting a little bit more hopeful, you know, with these further testimonies. If we can just bombard the office, people aren't going to just be able to ignore it. If they do just ignore it, we'll understand more about like what kind of control the military-industrial complex, the globalists, have over the UN. Right? They do at the UN, but there's compartmentalization. I'm feeling some hope from that, and it's really to do some kind of unilateral worldwide rules, new committees, but it would have to be, you know, and I even see that as being dangerous, like, because this kind of has to be handled on a global level to stop. And then it's like, what if I think I may have said this on a previous video, but like, what if the UN steps in and says, okay, well, we're the world kind of police organization. Man, there's been all this torture going on. So all these countries have collected their data, right, and sent it up to the top of the pyramid, developed AI more and everything like that. The UN steps in and says, man, every country has been torturing their citizens with this technology. The UN's going to have to take more authority in every country. So it might even be, I kind of doubt this. But I think about it. It could even be part of a plan that they knew that this stuff was going to have to come out, right? That people were being tortured and experimented on. And then they might use that for, more globally centric control. I hope not. I hope that I'm wrong about that. But we're seeing like the reason why I say things like that is because the system and like the pyramid flowing down, they become so good at lying. They don't just everybody's talking about rolling blackouts, right? Even the Helena group. The Helena group is these people, they come on TED Talk sometime, and maybe like a year ago or a year and a half ago, they were talking about how there's a great chance that there could be blackouts countrywide, right? And people started to see that, oh, they're doing these military operations where they're doing rolling blackouts, right? People were expecting that. But what did we see, right? We saw huge snowstorms and freezing, right? That caused the rolling blackouts. You see, so when a lie happens, it's not just, oh, blah blah, we're doing rolling blackouts to do these operations or whatever. What would you call them? Like training exercises. Training exercises are real life operations though nowadays for the military. I think they just say they're training operations, but they're really operational things that change. And I think that we saw that we didn't just see like, oh, there's rolling blackouts and that's the that's the military operation there. That's the FF, right? It's it not even just those two things, right? There's many angles. You got the freezing and the snowstorms causing the rolling blackouts, and then they can roll that also into concerns about climate change, right? And that Klaus Schwab, I said it on a couple of videos back. He said the next great crisis. So right now, the crisis that they're giving the public that has been manufactured and is real. There's a reality to CV, right? And that's the crisis right now. And then when people kind of get tired of that and they start being able to kind of go back to their lives, not normally, but go back to their lives in some kind of semblance of balance, then it's going to be climate change is going to be the next crisis, which climate change being the next crisis doesn't just mean it's going to be a bunch of people saying, oh, there's climate change and we need to change this and change that. That's one angle. But climate change is also going to be manufactured weather, fires, freezing like we saw in Texas, from abuse of directed energy weapons. So, weather manipulation is going to be a huge thing coming up. I get so like, it's like, sometimes I feel like the people who know this stuff, like that, military industrial complex and globalist forces, I'll just say globalist forces, have the ability to manipulate weather. And sometimes I'm like, I don't even know if I'm going to even mention that, because the people who know about it already. And it just seems like the people who don't know about it, they can't, the reason they don't know about it is because they're just like, no, that just couldn't happen. That's not right. A lot of people can actually learn the truth, but sometimes I'm just like, this stuff is so big and it's so unbelievable. Like, even to me, and I know it for sure, it's like, just who's going to believe that? We got to keep putting out the information then. Okay, Dennis says, have questions. It's serious, but might make you laugh or uncomfortable. Yeah, sure, Dennis. Dennis says, and everybody else in chat can answer, Dennis. Dennis says, do you take care of yourself every once in a while? Because with V2K, it freaks me out. These pervs are watching me do maintenance, and I'm single because of this now for 1.5 years. Yeah, I've been single for a long time, and I've dated too. And they watch everything and anything you do. Like, let me put it this way: even if you're using the bathroom, right? My attackers will go disgusting and stuff like that, and I'm just like in my own privately using the restroom. So to answer your question, if you do anything that's like maintenance or anything like that because you're being tortured many years and you're single, you know, they're gonna call you a pervert. They're gonna say anything bad, even though it's like, this is the deal: they're watching you naked, right? When you take a bath, when you use the bathroom, when you do anything, they're the perverts. They are the ultimate rapists and perverts. But what the whole thing is about, the evil in the world. Evil has always, I guess, kind of been this, but many more people are being grabbed into it, right? Or being infected by it. And when you got an evil person, a truly evil person, they will do things to you and then blame you for them. That's the targeting, and this is an obvious thing of the targeting program, right? So obvious that they're microwaving us, they're driving us insane, you know, messing with our brain. But then it's like, oh, you're the one who's bad. You're gonna do something bad. You're gonna go hurt people, right? Because they're trying to like rile you up and murder you enough so that you go do something crazy. So the whole point of it is to take innocent people and just like do things to them and then blame them for those things that are being done to them. And that's it. You know, it's a microcosm, macrocosm thing. Individually, this is happening to us, but then the globalists in the top of the pyramid, really evil, wickedly, spiritually wicked, and I think connected to greater spiritual wickedness. What was I saying? See, this is why my attackers just wiped what I was saying. But microcosm, macrocosm, the top of the pyramid, the globalists are trying to do what our attackers are doing to us individually. They're trying to do that to humanity. They're trying to like wear them down and poison them and make them lose their jobs by this. You know, it is a virus, right? It is something out there, but I would say it's you know, man-made biological warfare, carefully, globally crafted to actually even put mutated versions of something in areas. This is like a serious attack on the human populace, but it's covered up by, oh, this is just a natural thing, right? That's why they push so hard on bat soup. They push so hard on bat soup because they need to make it look natural. Just like when our attackers, like, my grandma's dying, right? And she's pretty close to, I hope she lives longer, but she's over there. I just, you know, she's lived a good life, and I just don't want her to be in pain, but, you know, I do want her around. So that's a confusing thing. But man, they're really wiping my memory, guys. Hey, Tanya, I haven't seen you in forever. And hey, Honey Ann. Tanya, I hope you're doing okay. I hope you and your mom are doing okay. Hey, Prophecy End of Days. I forgot what I was saying, guys, but okay. But the main point of that is that, oh yeah, the top of the pyramid, the globalists, they're going to poison people, take their jobs. You know, this manufactured virus and everything like that. And then the population's not going to really, they're not going to act great. You know, and then when there's forced wars and FFs everywhere, you got the population that's maybe dumbed down and angry and fighting, and then the top of the pyramid can say, "Oh, look, they suck. We can kill them off." You know, we need it. You know what I'm saying? It's like creating it, and then blaming the people that you created it on. It must be well, I think it's obvious. It's a very satanic tenet. To do harm. I mean, that's their whole thing, is to lie and to do harm where there's no harm. I mean, and somehow there's going to be order out of that random Like, let's just pick an innocent person that's not bothering anybody, and we'll just live a peaceful life. Let's, you know, shoot them with microwaves. Try and lie to them about them, like lie to their neighbors about them. Vehicularly stalk them. You know, mess with their brain. Even let's not just really kill them and torture them. Mess with their brain. So even you know, and then maybe they'll go do something violent. Right? We can create problems. Right? Do harm. Do harm by deceit and murder is that. I mean, that's like the satanic credo, which is a trick, right? Satan tricks people. So Satan says, well, if you do this stuff, and you know, if people don't have feelings or empathy, and you'll get something, right? But it's actually bad for them. It's bad for the people. Do no harm is good for you, and it's good for other people. Because at the very least, at the worst, you're not going to do any harm. At the best, you're going to help people, right? I mean, that's what our country was so awesome is, you know, people are free under God. You know, they're free under God. You don't mess with somebody. You don't mess with somebody unless they mess with you. And I remember my grandpa Slade saying this a whole lot. He lived in DeRidder on a farm, and it's awesome. I don't want to get too far because I'll forget, but he would just say, that's the greatest thing about our country. You don't mess with me, and I don't mess with you. And if we don't like each other, we go our separate ways, you know. Also, and I wanted to read this, but basically just giving you all the link is pretty much just so y'all can come sign this. But it's funny, both of my grandfathers, my grandpa Sladen on my dad's side, and then my grandpa Truxillo on my mom's side, and they're both passed away. They both got offers from the Masons. Like my dad told me about the time, because my dad was a young man in the Masonic order in DeRidder, because my grandpa on my dad's side was like a deacon of the church, and he had this booming voice. I mean, booming voice. Got my little well, my voice is okay, but booming voice, and like in the where my dad's side is Baptist, so in the church my grandpa would be like, amen, you know, and it booming voice. He was the guy who would interject in songs and in the sermon and stuff like that. So he was pretty big where he was. He was like kind of like a, I don't know, he was kind of the town deacon, if you want to say that, but like a leader in the community. And the Masons came to try and what do they do? Recruit people. They came in, and my dad remembers that my grandpa Sladen like threw him out, like was very angry and threw him out of his house, you know. So I don't think that's why I'm being targeted. Hey, Stacy. Elizabeth says, wow, I'm going to watch that. I'm getting, okay, y'all are talking about something you can watch. I miss you too, Tanya. Tanya says, miss you, Kyle, so much. Great to see you and everyone. And yeah, like that's what in my grandpa Truxillo, he was, I don't think he like threw any Masons out of his house, but he got an offer, and he didn't want to go, and because they knew, like like I've been raised by good people, and they like knew that it was evil, you know, they knew that it was no good. Did I not say hey to somebody? Lee says, just wait till the tears get their mark. LOL. Now they'll line up for it too. Let me read this quick. Bad news. It's like a war. It is a war that people that I care about don't even know that we're fighting. My parents both got the jab today. But let me read this, and then we'll talk about that afterwards. Just a couple of things. So this is a petition for the Havana syndrome caused by pulsed high-power microwave radio frequency directed energy weapons. We are asking our senators and congressmen to hold joint hearings on the use of intrusive and destructive pulsed microwave radio frequencies, as there are thousands and thousands of us being surreptitiously accosted. We need to shed abundant sunshine on this heinous crime that is being obfuscated and ignored. much like the initial reaction to the United States diplomats and the 8 undercover CIA officers reports were when stationed at their posts in Havana, Cuba. So 8 of them were undercover CIA officers. I have a little video on that. We'll watch that because I want y'all to remember what I said way back when I said I think it's Russia supplying Cuban intelligence with these weapon systems, because Cuba would not be able to develop these weapon systems and stuff like that on its own. Like if Cuba was not working with any of the bigger countries that are developing these integrated directed energy weapon systems and integrated neuro weapon systems and then testing it on its citizens, right? Cuba would not have been able to do that isolated and alone. It would have had to have help from like a bigger nation, and the only one that I can think of is Russia. I said that 2 years ago, and now they're coming out with videos. Like the Defense Department of the United States is coming out with videos saying like, you know, that they think that Russia supplied those weapons to Cuban intelligence. So how does a schizophrenic, right? Because this is not schizophrenia. Like predict something 2 years before, start talking about theoretically who could have given those weapons to a small country like Cuba, or would you call it a small nation state? And then 2 years later, the Defense Department is releasing stuff on how they think that Russia was part of that whole thing. I mean, from my what's it called? From my life that I have lived, it's like conspiracy theorists always end up being right. Most of them. Most of the conspiracy theories that sound like, yeah, and it exists, they're always right. And it always ends up coming out. Oh. Okay, so we are asking that the 50 states and establish a dedicated phone line for reporting of this crime. That would be great. There are that many of us. There's tons. I mean, look how many people have already signed it. When did, hold on. Let's see when it was put up. Let's see when it was put up there. I can't see when it was put up there. I guess we can maybe see at the bottom. Okay, so we are all asking that the 94 federal judicial district prosecutors order investigations and schedule grand jury hearings to bring the criminals who are perpetrating this crime to justice and bring relief to the normal, law-abiding citizens who have been enduring these heinous, extrajudicial, surreptitiously meted out assaults. This crime needs to be investigated and stopped. This is bullying on steroids. Yeah, I think that's a better way to maybe say it when we're doing the petition and stuff. But like, I don't know, because for me and for a lot of other targets, it's like it's rape and murder, and it's like it's mutilation of the body and the mind and stuff like. And so like I go past bullying to where it's being fired upon by weapons, but it's like, maybe it is better to not it's that serious. Like I feel like we have to say it's that serious, but a lot of people say bullying on steroids. No one should have to live like this. No one should have to endure this. No one. I agree with that. This madness has to stop. The cover-up has to stop. There's no use pretending that it is not happening. I mean, that's what people have been doing for so long, just pretending that it's not happening. And I think that makes us like, we're like, oh my God, everybody's just going to deny this. But there comes a certain point in society where even things that people like try and deny or whatever, the truth outs, right? That saying is, you know, I think about, what do they call them? Like, shoot. Like sayings that are very that people say a lot. I can't think of it. Can anybody think of the word for that? People say things a lot, and it becomes like almost such a simple thought. It's like it becomes cliche. That my attackers gave me that word. My attackers just put that way. It was in the inner voice thing. My attackers. So they destroy my memory. They've got automated remote neural manipulation that's covered my memory, so I can't think of words and stuff like that. But then they'll put in manually what I'm trying to think of. Like why even mess with my short-term memory? You just let me think of the words. Why even torture us? Why do this? Honey Ann says, I am praying for both of you. Abba Father has his hand on your lives. They will not kill you. I plead the blood of Jesus over you both right now. It is said and finished. Amen. 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 Definitely. Amen. Hey, John. John says, hi, Colin. Much love to all TIs. Much love to you and much love to all TIs too. Hopefully, hopefully we can do a lot of these things like the petition and then send in more testimonies to the UN. It's going to get more people in these uncompartmentalized compartments of the UN and the government, more of them understanding the full story and then how many good people are in there, right? I mean, that's all I can say. I can't say a guarantee on like, oh man, this will be brought down, but it gives a bigger probability of getting some friction and especially some information to the non-compartmentalized groups. Because I think the compartments of the DOJ and the FBI and some of these other organizations, the UN, the people who aren't in on it, right? They're not told about stuff. They're not in the compartmentalized groups doing it or participating in it. Most of those people, or a good percentage of them, are good people. And if they did know about this, they would try and, if they thought they could do it safely, which is impossible with this. You can't speak out on this or try and fight it and it not be like a really dangerous undertaking, right? No pun there, undertaking, no pun at all. Oh, Craig, you said that. Yeah, I'm sure I agreed with whatever you said this program is, but it was dirty words. Dennis K says, Dennis K says, yeah, not a day's break. V2K every day straight for 5 years and different attacks, some serious, some not, but insane. Not one day. It is a literal hell on earth. That's why I'm not afraid of death. It can't be much worse. Yeah, Dennis. I've had the V2K since 2011. So it'll be my 10-year anniversary of V2K nonstop, targeting nonstop in I think March or in the summer, maybe probably March, because I remember when you get new apartments, but it was a while. I got the new apartment and it was a while until they started hitting me. Maybe at the end of 2011. So maybe at the end of 2021, it'll be the 10-year anniversary. Really, Stacy? Stacy says my V2K has slowed down, but it's still there. And Stacy says the do torture is the same. Maybe you don't have automated. Maybe you don't have Chatterbox, because I've talked to TIs that they just have manual people talking to them, and it's always different, and nothing ever really repeats. And then for some of them, they've said it's kind of slowed down too. Mine's like Chatterbox with manual input, so the Chatterbox never stops. It never slows down. It's just like it never misses a beat. It's like da 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 da, and it never stops. The conversation between the man and the woman never stops. Not for a second. Not for 1 second. The only times like that it's gotten pretty good was when I did the cleansing for a month, and then I had the magnets by my ears, and I was listening to Dave Case CD like all the time, consistently. It got really low. The V2K got really low to where it was like I couldn't hear what they were saying, but then they like adjust, right? And that's the thing with the defenses, man. It's beyond frustrating to me, and y'all know this. It's like the defenses do hold it back. They hold things at bay. They're even holding things at bay for me right now. But it's just such a long period of time. and our attackers can adjust. They can get some things through. Like, I mean, this is one thing, guys, that I'm almost definitely sure of. You know, I wear these glasses, right? But I don't have any kind of special glasses on right now. I have my polarized sunglasses. Sometimes they will make me forget to put those polarized sunglasses on. So I'll be sitting here for a couple of hours, or I'll be over at my aunt's place, and I'll start getting real fight or flight, just like just like complete, just fatigue and everything. And I'm like, oh man, I need to put my polarized glasses on. I put them on, and I feel a little bit better. I feel a little bit more upbeat. So I mean, they're doing stuff with like optogenetics, photonics, right? Photonics, invisible light that can be shot to the eyes. They can go straight to the brain and things like that. But man, if we only had to fight this, they were like, okay, we're going to torture you for a year. With the defenses that, you know, we found and stuff like that, it wouldn't have been a big deal. I mean, it would have sucked, but if they would have given us a time limit, this just goes on and on and on. And that's our biggest problem. The biggest problem with this is that it just never stops, and it just never stops. But it will, one way or the other. One way or the other. Okay, so Mark Polymeropoulos, CIA, granted his first television interview to NBC's Andrea Mitchell today, assaulted with radio wave directed. Did I think I saw something on YouTube where Alex Jones was interviewing Polymeropoulos, or somebody else was interviewing him. I don't know. I think I saw where somebody else was interviewing him. But you guys go here and sign this petition. We want to get it up to 5,000. Let me read some of these. The updates 2 weeks ago, 2,500 supporters. And I'll tell you what, like I put in, like I signed the petition, and then like I kind of like stayed on that page, and I saw like there were like 2 more people signing the petition. So hopefully people watching this video will get over there. Hey, Jerusha McBear. Jerusha McBear says hello there. That rhymed. John still here says my B2K slowed down or a bit quieter, still 24/7 picks up every weekend, or if I have an appointment or post a video, guess I'm lucky, only 4 years. Well, 4 years is still a lot. Yeah, my attackers really hurt me when I make videos during and after. And it wasn't a big deal at first. Like I was just like, oh, I'm gonna, you know, I'm getting killed anyway. But at a certain point, it's like, it gets bad. It just gets bad. Yeah, anybody who buy Dave Case CD, get the Cost headphones and Dave Case CD. Really, this is the deal. If you, right when you get it, just listen to it as much as you can. Not just at night, like 2 months if you can, whenever you can, during the day, during the night, because you got to get that build up, right? They've got this build up, this biorelevant feedback loop that keeps resonating with your brain more and more. So they're building up and they're mapping your brain, and it's getting more, they're getting more locked into you, right? They're building that all the time. That's what the physical torture is for. That's what the high pitch ringing is for. It's to get more and more in tune with your brain, and not just more and more in tune with your brain as a whole, but more in tune with specific parts of your brain. So when you listen to Dave Case's CD, there's this build up that Dave Case CD is putting these counter frequencies. They're really the same frequencies. I don't quite understand, but they're counter frequencies, and it has to hit that build up, right? And it has to be there for a long time, so then it'll kind of break them off. But while to break them off of your vestibular system. So like when I first got Dave Case CD, I listened to it, I think for a month straight. No, 2 months straight, and then I started listening to it just at night for the upkeep. So I'd say if you, right when you get it, just listen to it all the time. And it's bad. It's a bad tasting medicine. It's hard to do anything else while you're listening to it. I guess you can read. You know, you can go running or something like that. But it's annoying. It's annoying, but for the benefits, because that's the linchpin of my defenses. Like I have all these other defenses, but it's the thing that that keeps the remote neural manipulation at bay. Like the high pitched sound, what they're doing to the brain connected to the body, like all the pains and stuff like that, making you have to use the bathroom. You know, so it's really helped in stopping the nerve pain, but it seems like some of the remote neural manipulation, some of it just gets through, like the memory stuff, the emotion stuff, some of that still gets through. And I wonder if it's different things because they're using layers, right? They're using different things on us. So you could like, you're blocking one thing and then this other thing is kind of getting through, and then your attackers are like, okay, well, it's blocking this that we're doing. Let's put more weight on that thing, that the layer that is going through, the frequencies that are going through. I don't know, that gets complicated, you know. Yeah, definitely, John. John says, my heart goes out to all female TIs. The privacy issues are bad enough for men, much worse for women. Yeah, I'd say it's much worse for women. And with me, like being a guy at the beginning, I made a joke out of it. Like I made a joke out of it to my attackers for many, many years. And like I would do, you know, John, I would do maintenance or whatever. I think you said that, you had that comment, but I would do whatever I wanted. I'd even like I'd take my camera phone and do gross stuff, do stuff to them so they would, to be like, hey, you want to see something, right? For the first couple of years, maybe the first 4 years, 5 years, say the first 5 years of it, when I found out that they were actually surveilling me all the time like that. And I think when I found out they were surveilling me all the time, it was after I thought they were maybe using something else and could only see me some of the time for like a couple of years. And it was probably about 2014 when I knew that they could just see everything and see through my eyes. And what was I saying? What was I saying? Oh yeah, and I would make a joke out of it, but then it's like it just kept going on, right? And the V2K kept going on, and the torture, you know, while I'm naked keeps going on, and it conditioned me to be much more self-conscious about what I was doing in my body. Like I've never been like that. At the beginning of the torture, just like, whatever, you want to watch me, blah, blah. But it just went on for so long and was so bizarre that I do feel a conditioning of like, oh, this, I don't want to get naked in my home, and stuff like that. I mean, we work past it. I work past it, but it still happens, you know. Yeah, DePlume says she's on Patreon. So Ella's on Patreon. Is she just on Patreon, or is she like on Patreon and is she on Patreon and YouTube? Does she like, because what I was thinking of maybe doing, I don't know, I gotta make some money, and I appreciate everybody who's donated, goes to like paying bills and eating, and then I want to, you know, get some nice stuff so that we can keep going, fighting with a lot of things here, the targeting being number one. But I was thinking about maybe like you do a what was I saying? What was I saying? I can't remember. Oh yeah, I was thinking about maybe doing a Patreon and then doing videos. And some, man, I want to talk about some things that I don't think I can put on this channel, that would be so controversial. And I kind of just want to do a place where people who really dig the research that I do, and maybe even go beyond that. But I'm like, man, I don't know if that would work. You know, if people are going to donate to Patreon, I would want to make sure that I'm giving them their worth. Like, it's like, you know, and I'm just like so sick that I've got to get in a position where I'm like, yeah, I can give people worth out of that. It has to be not just taking money for me. It has to be like, I can do something and do something for us, you know. And I'm just so tired. I'm like, I don't know about that. I'm thinking about just, well, I'm thinking about a lot of things, but I got to somehow make money. So Dr. Millicent Black said, it's been almost 25 years since I was warned of the start of what has become the most horrendous abuse against me that humanity has ever known. My complaints of assaults with psychotronic weapons and other SERE torture tactics. Does anybody know what SERE torture tactics are? Silent electromagnetic something, probably silent electromagnetic something. Jerusha McBear says, anyone been getting the flicker lately, like sparks popping up, lights randomly? Not me. Are you in Texas, Jerusha? Yeah, John. John says, always remember how awesome and strong you are for enduring this horrendous program. That's something I think about a lot too. When the remote neural manipulation, I would make a little video and get like 100 views on YouTube. And because of my perception in life, it was important and it felt important to me. And I was helping people, obviously, right? And then it's like the remote neural manipulation keeps going on. And I've done even more, built the channel up. I've done something, gone and saw Dr. Hoffer, we are heroes doing this. And yet, with remote neural manipulation, they're able to like kind of suppress that feeling. But then I get this, I forgot how much that I've done in the past. And it's weird. It's weird what they do to my brain. Time, they can mess with them so much. Just they're doing all this stuff to my brain, like all this perceptual stuff and behavioral stuff and emotions. And it's at a certain point, like in my case, like if it's at the beginning and it's some pretty non-subtle things for remote neural manipulation, mark it down and research it, but and say like, this is what's happening to me. You want to do testimonies about that early on. I feel that when it gets it's been 10 years of overt torture, right? It gets to be hard to say like, oh, well, they're doing this and doing this. What you're thinking that they're doing starts to actually play into it also, because it's not as non-subtle as at the beginning. So sometimes I'm like, well, I better just say they're messing with my mind and not think too much about it, because they're doing all this stuff and then I'm thinking about it, it's like turning in on itself. I think we all deal with that. I've dealt with it more like as this is going on, because they're doing so many automated things to the brain that the human operators don't have to mess with. And that's just going 24 hours a day. And like, say I have this kind of emotion, then a trigger is going to come in, like just a specific trigger for that thing. That's some pretty hard stuff to communicate. I think it's a big reason that maybe some of the bigger organizations they stay off of the remote neural manipulation talking about it. I don't think that's a good idea though, because that's the most dangerous thing that society needs to know. And I think a simplistic way of saying it would just be, just your brain's being manipulated, trauma-based behavioral conditioning. I wouldn't, mind control. Yeah, mind control people recognize, but it's more conspiracy theories. But I really, if I had to explain this, I would say it's trauma-based behavioral conditioning. Some people, and it's weird how some people, in the past, target individual. I don't know, just a lot. People have different personalities, so you could have one person that they really, at the beginning, they know that the person's impulsive, so they do a lot of stuff where they're going to try and do some violent stuff. But then another person has a certain personality where they're like, okay, we need to play the long game, and we need to do some behavioral conditioning, and it's going to take a long time. We won't be able to probably get that person do anything really impulsive or dangerous, but we can change their behaviors by changing, their perceptions and attitudes, stuff like that. It's so, I mean, like we are owed millions of dollars. I actually think there's a possibility of not getting reparations, but getting settlements. I think there's a huge possibility. God, there's so many targeted individuals in the world. So become most horrendous abuse. My complaints of assaults with psychotronic weapons and other SCRE torture tactics have gone uninvestigated because of the apparent determination of law enforcement to cover for the military and the DOJ. I think they're all covered. I think it's so compartmentalized, and the people who are not involved, they don't say anything about it because they're like, oh, this is a compartmentalized special ops, taking care of terrorism, and they don't ask questions or look into it. Or if they do, they keep their mouths shut, I've appealed to both under the Violence Against Women's Act, Crimes Against Humanity, War Crimes Act, and constitutional rights violations to no avail. Who will stand up when they come for you or your loved one? That's right, because they're coming for everybody. That's our selling point right there. Our selling point is that it's so weird to sell this to somebody, but our selling point on it is this will happen to you if you don't stop it. It's a good selling point, but it's also ironic because that's the one thing that gets them to be like, oh no, it's not going to happen to me, and they won't believe it, right? It's the most important thing people need to know, but too scary. The scariest thing that it could happen to them, and they'll immediately reject it. These people up at the top of the pyramid, these eugenicists, they've been studying human beings for a long time. And now they're getting down to, intricacies of the brain, and how we respond to things, how different personalities respond to things. This has to be stopped because the more they learn about us, and to me, it seems like they know everything about us. But there's still more to learn. We got to stop them because the more they learn about us, the more that they can do these things like, okay, we're gonna do freezing and tech. We're gonna manipulate weather patterns. We're gonna put some chemtrails down so that the sun can't. We're gonna really mess with weather, and then we're gonna direct a freeze and a snowstorm into Texas, and then we're gonna have rolling blackouts. Probably for some kind of they up the prices and stuff like resets and everything. And maybe this is just the beginning in Texas, and then they're going to do some more things in the country, right? But as they move on, it's like they learn, and they probably say, well, we're going to do that. The percentage of people that are going to know that that's weather manipulation and military ops, and then the algorithms figure out a percentage, right? And it says, well, there's a big enough percentage that will never ever believe that, and that's all we care about, right? So getting those percentages of people who understand and can take some kind of action, Hey, TIP. Yeah, Nadia says exactly, Kyle. It's too scary for people. But it's the thing is, in the world today, it's like everything is too scary for people. That's why it's like the coronavirus globally. That's way too. So it's like this. It seems like people should be kind of coming up to the point where it's like, wow, that's scary, and that could happen to me, just like I could get CV or something like that, right? They would be thinking that I don't think that I can get CV. I think that it's much more. Well, I won't go into that, but it would be the same. Like they would be like, oh, well, I can get CV, and that's scary, right? Just like this is something that's happening to people, and maybe it would happen to you, but it's like there's so many other things, right, that are real scary. Well, maybe maybe this, because there's so many other scary things, and people just can't add on one more. But we're trucking along. Honestly, we are trucking along. And the word that I would use for our activities, our activism, our getting information out is a quick. Things are so messed up in society. It's chaos theory. It's order out of chaos. To me, it just looks like more and more chaos, right? Because I'm in the middle class. You guys are in the middle class. But to the top, it's it is order out of chaos. They're creating chaos for all the population, but they're sucking up resources and sucking up power, right, as they do all this. So for the elite, chaos, order out of chaos is like we get more stuff, right? They get more stuff, they get more control, but really it's just chaos theory to the general public, and worse and worse. Yeah, and they'll keep sucking out more resources at the top of the pyramid, even these people's lives, right? And I say these people, the V2K is coming from this way, but my microwave torturers, like that are remotely microwave torturing me and neural manipulating me, they're really erasing my memory. This is so hard. Guys, I think I'm going to have to go to short videos and maybe do live streams every once in a while, because they're just erasing my memory. Like if I try and interject anything into the sentence other than just saying straight what I was going to say, it goes away completely. I can't even remember what I was talking about. They're literally like sometimes, and I've told y'all about, like, I'll take a Neurontin and literally a second I'll be like, did I take that? And they're just, everything that I do, they're practicing. Like even in this video game I'm playing, like I had to go online and get like, and see, pick up this item, and I would do one, and I'd pick up the item and I'd like walk away from it, and then I'd look back over at the screen and I was like, did I get that one yet? Because I was thinking about watching it on the video. So they're really screwing up my memory to, but it seems like it's artificial. It doesn't seem like Alzheimer's. It doesn't seem like an organic thing. It seems kind of artificial. Tanya says, thank you, everyone. Sending heaps of hugs and love to everyone. Thank you, Tanya. Heaps of love to you. Heaps of love to all you guys. DePlume says, no, too depressed. Did I seem, what? I wasn't depressed on my short videos. What you talking about, Willis? I just did another video the other day. I did a short video, though. I didn't think it was bad. What you talking about, Willis? I'm just depressed all the time right now. It's artificial depression. It's not like it's not like it's not even situational. Like I've had a lot of bad things happen, and the torture and everything, and just being targeted all the time. But even with all those things, my attackers, they have to manipulate my brain to make me depressed. And they use situations, they use negative situations, conversational scenarios and things like that to make me depressed. But it's not just like, I'm depressed or whatever. It's like very specific brain experimentation that makes me depressed. I didn't think I did. I do good. But what I'm saying, I'm going to keep doing, live streams, but I need to, because like right now what I'm doing is like, oh, I'm so tired. I don't want to do a live stream. I'll go ahead and wait. I need to just do short videos and everything to supplement. I can't do a live stream, but still do those for a while. But some of you guys know this gets really bad. Like I'm sitting here and my attackers are playing this little game where they erase what I'm going to say. So to a certain point, I'm like, we'll see. I'll push through as long as my body will go. And I'm trying to find some things that can help more. I still need to do the ionizing foot bath, but like I don't have as much money saved up to where I can just try a bunch of defenses. It seems like that really helped keep my attackers off guard, and when I would try new things every once in a while, and those things would work, and it would be a different defense that my attackers had to deal with, right? But now it's like I'm kind of stuck with the things I have right now. I've got to build up to maybe try one thing or something like that. So please donate to the channel. I don't know if I'd use any of y'all's donation money to buy defenses. Maybe if it was something really, really important. But I think I'm gonna. My parents gave me a little bit of money for my birthday, and my mom's like, "Oh, dude." My mom's saying I could. she's going to trade in her Jeep. My car is like gone. My car is like the brake lights on, and like I just drive in the city, and my car is almost money to get another car, and my mom is like, I'll give you the Jeep for a really good price, and I don't like so I don't even know like how long I'm gonna have a car for. Okay, so Deborah Verdon, just personal ramblings there. Deborah Verdon says, I am 65 years old and tortured with remote neural monitoring, directed energy weapons, scalar waves, microwave torture, and much more 24/7. I'm stalked, followed, have a made-up smear campaign on me, road rage monitored, and much more. My phone is tapped, my TVs, my laptops, my van. When I'm in my home or at my jobs at the store, I get tortured with weapons. I have, excuse me. Hey, Hannah. Hey, Hannah Havana. Dennis says, I leave stuff running now, even zoned out through a red light. First time I ever did that. Yeah, Dennis, I understand that. Usually it's like and this is a conditioning thing too. I tell y'all about this because I'm always like, they stop lights on me. Like between DHS fusion centers and my microwave torturers, I don't know which one is doing it specifically. It could just be their coordination with DHS fusion centers. When I'm rolling up to a light, I'd say 80% of lights, if they're green, they will stop before I get there. So even if a light is green, I will start to stop, even if it doesn't change, right? On that 20% of lights that they're not changing. So it's conditioned me to stop on green lights, like, because it's just been going on for so many years, right? I think the vehicular stalking I noticed the vehicular stalking probably 2013, 2012 or 2013. But it's this conditioning. That's the biggest thing with me. Worry isn't, well, the torture is a big worry and what it does to the mind, but my biggest worry isn't like, oh, they're going to get me to go out and kill myself or go hurt somebody. It's the long-term behavioral conditioning that's really doing brain surgery on me, right? Lee says, MUFON and the alien stuff is littered with intelligence agents. If a victim believes it's aliens, the government is laughing because they are off the hook. Yeah, I don't think aliens are doing this to us. Lee, what do you think about this, Lee? I think this is aliens doing this to us, but I do think that the ability to manufacture the weapons, like the integrated directed energy weapon systems and integrated neuro weapon systems, I believe that a lot of the information is ancient, even from the pyramids on energy harnessing and stuff, but they didn't have the technology. Then they had Nikola Tesla, who also put in all this, almost the technological ways to do it, or some of them, right? But then I do think that our government and other governments, especially Nazi Germany in World War II, maybe had contact with some sort of something, and it maybe had capabilities like the guy in Area 51. He worked in Area 51, and he said that he worked with Grays. They had little black boxes, like a black cube, which is weird because you think about Black Cube, the Mossad organization that basically is Israel doing military operations on American soil. That's Black Cube. And the gray aliens, that the Area 51 guys, they would be talking to, the alien would not talk to them because they had like small mouths that didn't look like they could talk, but they would put that V2K. It would be like they could hear the voice of the alien, and the alien could hear their voice. It was like a mind-to-mind thing, but there was technology. And so I think that there was back engineering, just like we see, some of these United States and other countries, they have these UFOs, right? That was back engineered from somewhere. It didn't just come up, right? And this too, there was some back engineering from that. There's just so much evidence and so many whistleblowers about extraterrestrial life. And the deal is that we exist on Earth, like Earth is teeming with life. But we're kind of isolated in this in our solar system, right? We can look out to other places, but the deal is, if we exist on this Earth, the universe is teeming with life. I don't see why there's any other thought. Like, why is there a thought that, like, is it to be special? Like, is that so we feel special? But the logical thing is, we exist on this Earth. The universe is teeming with life. We're just maybe far away. Almost like if you're on Earth, and maybe it was like way back in the times when people just had little villages, and this village was like rainforest. They're in the rainforest, and they're like, we're the only people on Earth. But there's like a village that's kind of far down the way that they've never seen, right? I think that's the deal with that, you know. Does he have a new one? Dennis says, look out for Charlie's channel, analyzed audio, and his girl that took off day before said he had government targeting him. That's what he told her. Is it a new video, Dennis? Are you going, Stacy? Stacy says, I have to go. It was nice seeing you all. Love you, my TI family. Be strong. You too, Stacy. Be strong. Thank you for coming. So, oh no, Tanya says, Jer, yes, they killed my little dog and cat and killed my family dog and hurting my mom's bird. Yeah, they're really hurting Pepper. She's got like arthritis, and they're doing stuff, manipulating her. They're messing with her head. Like, because they're doing stuff so that she will do stuff to annoy me. Like, it gets to that point, and like that sounds crazy that they're remote neural manipulating and affecting a dog. They're just basically affecting a dog with electromagnetic frequencies. Yeah. Tanya says, Kyle, we all need you, and we understand what they are doing to you. Oh, thank you, Tanya. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's so bad, man. It just gets so bad, and I know there's a certain percent, there's a bigger percentage of targeted individuals on my videos that are like, yeah, we get it, man. You're blasted, like you're getting blasted by this stuff. But like I've seen it on Brian Two's videos, and sometimes on mine, it's like there's a certain percentage of people who like they don't really understand how bad this stuff is, and they may not even be targeted individuals. And like I'd see some of Brian's videos on that channel that was deleted. I mean, he'd be in so much pain just explaining the heart arrhythmia and stuff like that. And like people would give him so much hate, like he'd get like all these thumbs down. And I was just like, our communications networks are just terrible. Like this guy that's being tortured, like he's getting all these thumbs down just because he's putting out a video of himself being tortured. Because like TIs have a lot of different ideas, right? Like I've even said it, I'm like, we don't need to be rolling around just saying how much in pain we are, but some people do. Some targeted, they need to show how hurt they are by this stuff. And it's just, I don't know, the way it is, I don't even remember my point. Let's read this one. I don't even remember my point. I'm just really tired, but I'm like healing, getting my energy up. My grandma, that's really making me have a deep existential crisis. Like if the targeting doesn't give you an existential crisis, which it really does, there will be other things within that are going on that are weighted by the targeting, right? Like my relationship with my father, my relationship with my brother, being able to see my half sister and her, her daughter, my niece is like 27 or something like that. And I haven't seen her since she was like 18 or 17 or something like that. So my nieces are just growing up real fast. And like, I've always kind of, I'm not going to go into that stuff. I got to stop. Wanted to be like a father, be around. If I couldn't have kids, at least be a father to my nieces and nephews. And it's like, because of this, I'm just like pretty much cut off from my family unless I see them. And then they've all kind of, because they're worried about me, they're talking about this stuff. And then I get these under the breath things from Like some of them, like, you just did it to yourself or whatever. So I see them like for a holiday, and then I'm just this piece of crap, mentally ill person that like, and it makes me like I can't all these different things about it. They treat me differently, so it's hard to just joke around. And this is a mind F, but way bigger. I mean, because the whole world is in on it. Even if the world and your family doesn't agree to be in on it, they're in on it. That's how these big, huge programs where everybody can't be in on the destroying the person, knowingly knowing they're destroying the person. They just make it so that even people that are in your life that are good will end up hurting you. They'll just make it that way. That's it. And everybody in my life has not hurt me, but y'all know what I mean. With your family, it's like, even if your family loves you, they can't deal with this. So there's no real way to like iron it out. There's a way to kind of make it not hell, make it tragic, right? Let me remind people, because somebody said this is hell, and I agree. This is hell going through this. But Jordan Peterson, I'm not going to look it up, but he says in a bad situation, if you make the right choices, it's still going to be tragic, but at least it doesn't have to be hell. If we do the right things and we tread water, it's going to be bad, but we just don't want to make it worse, right? Because it's easy to make it worse. It's easy to be like, F this, I'm dying. Why don't I just go do something, not violent, but go do something impulsive and live it up or something like that? And then it's like, I don't do this stuff, but I'm just saying maybe other TIs think this stuff. I guess I have. Live it up, and I've gone and drank with some friends. My good friend Blair, he's probably watching this. I haven't talked to him in a while because I've just been dealing with this. I gotta call him back. He's a really good guy. So I do have friends that'll stick by me. It's just me, Hey, Alan. Alan says, great to see you, Kyle. Hi, TI family. Hey, Tanya. Glad to see you all. And it's good to see you too, Alan. I hope you're hanging in there, brother. I agree, Tanya. I think I want to put that up on the screen. That's wise, and it's part of my problem. It's part of my frustrations, because like I've always been an empathetic person, right? And I've tried to understand if somebody's going through something bad, you wanna help them, you wanna understand their pain and stuff like that. But it's relative, right? It's relative to what you've gone through. Like if somebody is going through something you don't understand, it's hard to know how to comfort them. It's hard to even know like that it exists with what we're dealing with. Yeah, if you're not going through it, you can't even understand that. And I even think it gets even, well, are we being we're not being depressed tonight. We're being positive tonight. We got this positive thing. But I think that even in the TI community, some TIs are getting this kind of protocol and some are getting this protocol. And even for us, sometimes it's hard to understand what another TI is going through. Like I understand the target individuals that are just getting the whole casserole, just everything thrown at them. But I have a hard time understanding like TIs that aren't in a lot of pain, that maybe are just getting B2K and stuff like that. I'm just like, I end up getting suspicious of them, which there probably are, TIs with different protocols where it's not exactly just the whole casserole on them. The whole casserole, like everything, like B2K, remote neural manipulation, external hits to the body, what else? Toxins put into your fridge and your drinks and stuff like that. Tanya says, Kyle, some family members don't understand, some do not want to listen, and some are perps. Yeah. My family members are getting targeted. What I think that I've had the biggest problem with is not, like in my life, people in my life is not perpetrators and fake people, like people who are agents. I have problems with psyops. Like my parents are psyop when they talk to me, so they'll be triggered to say something or something like that, or things like that. Psyops where, and I've been thinking about this. I'll talk about this on another one because I'm still thinking about it, and I need to look into the technicality of it. Jerusha says, Vulcan Wolverine, we will be able to help the others when this program gets bigger. We have the experience. Yeah, they're pulling in more people, but it would have to change if they're going to get a bigger percentage in there. Like if they're actually going to pull in a huge percentage of the population, which already is, but a huger percentage of the population, it would have to change like scope and intensity and everything like that. But yeah, I mean, I think it's like, Jerusha, we can help people even now, but people don't really want to hear what we have to say, even in the truth community a little bit. Now, I think a lot of people are listening to this, but you know, you can put together better when you understand that there's integrated directed energy weapon systems, there's mind control everywhere, that, you know, weather manipulation can happen, that directed energy weapons are just being, you know, misused so much in the world. It kind of, you look at the situations that are happening, right? Like when I look at an FF or I look over at what happened in Texas, I have some more information about the capabilities, this infrastructure, this directed energy weapon infrastructure around the globe, and how they can mind control a lot of people, maybe just to, you know, think a certain way, you know. So it's really important for the whole population of the world to have this tool of just knowing that this can be done with this, especially because we got a train coming down the bend, right? We got a train coming in, New World Order takeover, the worst horrible thing in the world. But you got all these consumer products, and you got Neuralace, right? Yeah, it's Neuralace and all the consumer products, and then the medical advancements and everything, and they're going to all have back doors. So somebody can get like this little device that reads neurological activity, so you can play video games. There's going to be a back door into that device. There's going to be a back door into it so that the neurons can actually be manipulated, just like the wireless earbuds go straight to the vestibular system. They're transceivers, and that transceiver could be used to bounce a frequency to their inner ear and thusly their brain. People need to understand that the brain, the vestibular system, and all this stuff is very easily manipulated, you know, by electromagnetic frequency. And hey, Charles, how are you doing, brother? Charles says, hi, everyone. I'm doing really bad, brother. It's just the remote neural manipulation and my brain. True Kism says, I don't understand how this is still allowed. Organized stalking and harassment. I don't either. And I have something. Oh man, I don't have it to pull up yet, but it was something that Jeff sent me, and it's basically the sheriff's department somewhere. DHS Fusion Center sent a warning to some sheriff's department somewhere, and it was what's the word for it? It got leaked out, and DHS Fusion Centers were telling sheriff's department to be on the lookout to if you come across a person that says they're a targeted individual, be very careful, maybe call 911, right? So apparently some of these sheriffs, like, I mean, this is crazy. This is crazy where it's like, hey, this person is saying targeted, so we need you to add to the targeting that we're already targeting them with. They're saying they're targeting, it's targeted, it's completely true, but we're DHS Fusion Centers and we're covert, so they're not targeted because we don't want people to know they're targeted. So let's add more targeting to their already targeting because they said they were targeted, because we want to hide that, right? It's just insane. Like doing exactly what I was saying at the beginning, doing this to people and then saying, hey, if you see a person that's saying they're being targeted and stuff like that, be very careful of them and give them more trouble, you know, because how does the sheriff's department not know that they actually are targeted? I mean, we're dealing with like insanity where it's like people know that they're killing people, and they're like, hey, if you see this person that's targeted, you know, go be very careful of them. And they know that person's dying. Like the sheriff's department knows that person's being crushed with microwaves and harassment, and yet these memos are going out. I mean, unbelievable, unbelievable. Hey, Paul says, I pray for all targeted individuals all around the world. Thank you, Paul. I'm going to put that up on the screen. I'm not sure. DePlume says, yeah, I was targeted in North Houston. Won't go back there, LL. Yeah, I think my targeting started in Louisiana, and then I went to Texas, and it got worse. And then I came back to Louisiana, and it kept going. And everywhere I've gone and moved to, it's just stuck with me, you know? So I don't think I could go anywhere and it would get, well, maybe so. I was thinking like if you moved, like if I moved to another state, like New York or, you know, it's really far away, would they have to get new contractors, and could it be even more dangerous? They would get contractors that are more bloodthirsty and it may get worse. Like, 'cause I've got contractors I think that are, I think they are stationed in Louisiana somewhere. I always wonder that. Then it's like, I think we could go somewhere and make it a whole lot better. You know, some kind of small island, some place that is not in cooperation with the Five Eyes, because it's, you know, in that country they wouldn't have the weapons, but then the country that's attacking you could, you know, use over the horizon radar and stuff to hit you in that country. And like Brian, you know, is going everywhere, and he's going to these countries that really are not cooperating with the Five Eyes, but he still gets hit, right? You know. Yeah, Paul Abernathy says stay away from Oregon. I think you got Oregon's really bad, California's really bad, New York's really bad. And it's very, very weird that they're on the coast, but they're also, you know, democratically run cities. That's the scary thing. In the democratically run cities, you've got more mind control, you've got more experimentation, hurting human beings when they're saying, hey, we want everybody to be equal and stuff. They're like liars, and they don't respect. Dude, Joe Biden saying that black people and Mexican people can't get on the internet or something like that. They don't respect, you know, they don't respect anybody, white, black, Mexican, Asian, Latina. They don't respect anybody, you know. They just want to use people. And my fear is that with Joe Biden being a Democrat and having the most progressive liberals like in Congress that are actually, you know, doing what they're doing, they're going to want to do a lot of this. They're going to want to do a lot more targeting and stuff like that because they're evil. Even though Donald Trump was like, hey, yeah, we'll be #1 in 5G. It's like, how do we know that maybe they said, okay, well, we need to do this 5G thing, or it's like, well, no, 5G is used in targeting also. They're all bad. They're all bad. I think Trump was the best of the bad, but still bad. So Truekism says, are you saying sheriff's offices were told to help when someone mentions it? No, no, no. They're told to be scared of them. Like, as if you're a crazy person that could hurt somebody. Like, if you say you're a targeted individual, then the sheriff's department is like on guard. This is a crazy person who could hurt people, and I need to call like 911 or do something like that. But the deal is, sheriff's departments actually cooperate in the gang stalking and stuff. So a lot of them probably already know. You know, I don't see why this sheriff's department didn't know. I'll show you all that. I wanted to get Jeff on, but like my schedule is really messed up. And I haven't talked to him about it yet, and I'm all, having to go to my aunt's and stuff. But maybe this weekend, Jeff, if you're watching this, I'm gonna text you. I'm gonna text you today. Maybe you're in the chat, and maybe we could do something Saturday or Sunday. Just plan it, and let's just do it and just hang out. The thing is, like, a lot of the targeted individuals that watch my channel and they send me information, a lot of them are being targeted so heavily they don't really come on. Maybe I think Jeff might, though. I think he might be doing better. I completely get that, because like even just coming on and putting up the petition, I was just like, oh, I don't know. Like, my brain's not working. They're doing specific things because I'm making these videos, like making my memory just really bad. Truekism says, if you say you're being harassed with that makes someone crazy. Well, they're saying we're crazy because, like, oh, I'm being harassed in my community, and then they're like, no, nobody's doing anything to you. That's the thing nowadays. the whole thing nowadays is ain't nobody doing anything to you. I mean, that's so anybody who says there's a problem with any group of people, right? Because groups of people don't do anything to anybody, right? So you're crazy, you know. I know it doesn't make sense, truthism. Like, I mean, it should be taken seriously. But that's what they're telling the sheriff's department, that we could be unstable and dangerous. You know, I'll show you all the exact document on it. Yeah, Tanya says it does not matter where you live. They set it up on you before you move into your house. Yeah, into your house or flat. Well, they don't really. I mean, if you're saying they set up the equipment, they don't really need that. Like, I mean, it's like I've moved 5 times and they couldn't get into my place before, and it's remote. You know, they'll maybe put people around you and stuff to do noise campaigns, or in some people's situations, supplemental weapons. But it's like, I move into this condo, they don't have to do crap because they're using remote. They're using microwave towers and satellite and over the horizon radar. So all they've got to do is just position it to go to hit me in my condo. You know, I think in certain people's situations though, they do, like, you know, they'll put cameras in and stuff like that to do redundant systems. There's probably a small percentage of those cases. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? That's just a generality. Tanya says, what about the police force are doing all these war criminals? Yeah. Trukism, in my case, none. Like, Trukism says, where do they put the surveillance equipment or cameras? In my case, in here, there's none. There's maybe this is a surveillance camera. You want to cover your camera on your camera phone. You don't want to leave your webcam on. If you have a smart TV, there's a camera behind the screen. And they can just get, like, they can, but this is like a more advanced form of surveillance. With the light from the TV, they can also surveil from behind the TV. But there's a camera. If you have a smart TV, there's going to be a camera behind the screen. So I don't know how to. I don't deal with that one. My attackers see me from that one. But you want to cover up your cell phone. You want to take your webcam off. Some people, I don't know if some people have had experience with that, like being bugged in their house. You know, let people know. Jack says it's human trafficking. Let's see. Jack says it's human trafficking, damn it. Genetic experiments done to control human breeding, just like Greek life on campus, but with tech. It's a lot of things, Jack. But yeah, it's human trafficking and it's genetic experiments done to control human breeding. Yeah, eugenics. I guess eugenics on a whole is trying to control that. But what they're doing, and it doesn't make sense, they're like killing a lot of good people, and then they're like, psychopaths are kind of rising to the top. They're rewarding them and letting them breed. And so it's like, I think they're doing that. Like, I don't know. This is just this is a crazy theory, so I'm going to say that before I say it. But like, they're trying to get, they're trying to let people breed, like sociopaths and psychopaths breed more, because then you're going to have more of those people in society to join the system, because they're not creative. They comply because they don't really know how to be creative and just be themselves. They're sociopaths, so they just do what the system is doing. And I think they want that dangerous, compliant person to be able to be more successful. And that's why I mean, they're making these like DHS fusion centers, contractors to do this. Who are the people that are going to sign up? Selfish people that are like, hey, I'm going to protect me and my family. I don't care about this person or learning, allegations are true or anything. I'm just going to do this and make money, right? And those people build their lives and they don't really care, and they'll do anything. They breed, and then all the people that have compassion and stuff, they're murdered. Don't want any like real heroes or anything in society. You want to get them out. And then so it's the opposite of what I would do if I wanted to make a good society that's really safe. They don't want a safe society. They want to kill us all. Is that too dramatic? Because it's true. They want to kill a lot of people. It's slowly first and then fast later. And I think we all know this, right? The New World Order, they've written it in their papers and stuff like that. DePlume says they zap people around you and it's not their fault. The people around you get zapped regardless if they are normal people or government. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I had a friend once who like moved in with me to that house that burned down, and they were like, "Oh my God, like I got heat just to my chest," and I was like, "Yeah, that's microwave weapons." They're like, "No, no way, man," and they still wouldn't believe it, but they were getting hit, while I was getting hit. And I think my friend Blair got targeted completely hanging out with me, but he thinks it's spiritual attacks. He prayed. They give him directed dreaming and stuff because he's told me about some of these dreams, and I'm like, dude, that's directed dreaming. But he's like, he won't accept that it's like technology that can have control over him. He's like, it's spiritual, and with God's help, boom, it's gone. Which I think we need that too, but it's like I think we need both. I think we need spiritual help from God, and God works through us in the world, right? A million times. Charles says at this point, everyone is mind controlled, though. Their vestibular system is the same as ours. We are in the same atmosphere. Lots of people at the store when I go to the store. Yeah, but it has to be, I mean, you can be affected, by just frequencies in the air, Charles, but not at the point of like directing an electromagnetic field around your head that's like conducting and going into your vestibular system, or just straight shots to the vestibular system, or microwave hearing where it's going down to the inner ear, right? So they've got a couple of protocols for that. It's really bad when it's direct, but I agree with you that there's electromagnetic soup in the world, and it's affecting everybody's brains, right? But just it's extreme with ours is we're directly targeted. Dennis says, yeah, if they pervs, you should scan for hidden cameras. They try to use blackmail on TIs. Yeah, cover up your camera on your tablet and everything. But the deal is, Dennis, is that they have radar, right? So they can put an electromagnetic field around you, and they have technology where they can image that. So they can get an image of it. It's not a color image. It's probably like black and white or whatever. It's like a heat, kind of like heat, like Predator. When Predator sees, it's like heat vision. So they do that all the time. And then they got remote neural monitoring where they're picking up a signal from your occipital lobe, your eyes to your occipital lobe. It could be from the visual cortex that they're picking up the signal, but I think it's the occipital lobe, and they can see what you see. Now, how do they see it? Do they see it in full color? Probably by now they do. So they've got so many ways to watch you. Like, so if I'm sitting here, they're seeing what I'm seeing. I got the webcam, so they're seeing out of that, right? And they've got their little integrated directed energy weapon system with their monitors and things like that. And if I put my webcam up, they have a function on their computer to pull that up on their screen because it's like on my, or they just go off of the computer because they have my computer all the time. When I have my computer on, they'll have a screen showing what I'm looking at, and then trying to like shut down pages and freeze it up and stuff like that. So it's just, I have, human operators doing some of these manual tasks, right? With the automated systems then doing other stuff. But they do, there are human beings. I think a lot of them, I think a high percentage where they're sitting like, I mean, probably in like an office setting, a military office setting. I think it's a new thing. I don't think it's anything that anybody's like, oh, it's like an office, or it's like that. It's like a new conglomeration of like military people, working in an office area, in a military area, probably in a more military than office. And it could be underground in Louisiana. It could be on one of the military bases. And I'm saying wherever you are, there's lots of military bases and top secret things that have been built that no one even talks about, right? Underground, far out from any kind of you know, cities where people are going to see it. But yeah, I always wonder about that because my attackers, and hey, Arachno Nixon, like my attackers have watched me for so long. I wonder if they can take some of the remote like surveillance, the radar surveillance, right? Like I wonder if they can take some of that radar and blackmail me, not blackmail me, but show that to other people and say, look what he's doing, or something like that. Look what he's doing in his condo. He's taking a poop. We've got to kill him and his family and get him out of there and get him on the streets, you know. I always wonder about that, what they show to others, like, because they've got so much surveillance on me. You know, in my car, they have surveillance on me from radar surveillance. Arachno Nixon says, Paul, yep, I've done experiments that confirm they use heat-sensitive infrared. Yeah. Arachno Nixon says, it'd be too dangerous for them to straight up hide cameras throughout our residences. They like infrared because it lets them see through walls. Plausible deniability. Yeah. That's kind of, but there's other ways besides infrared. There's like having an electromagnetic field around a person and then reading that electromagnetic field to get an image, right? Brian too talks about it, or he did in the past talk about it a lot, but it's like basically just, that's why I think they heat up our phone so much. They do it to mess with the phone, but it's creating this field of wireless frequency around your body, and then they can, with the technology they have, they can read that field. They can get an image of you from that, or just from straight radar or infrared. See, they have these many things they can do. Like, I mean, it's like we need to tell, or we don't need, we tell people they can look through walls, right? They can surveil through walls, but not just with even one thing, not even with just one method. I mean, that's how far along the military-industrial complex is, and people are just like left behind. Like the public is just not going to be about it, even when they're told, right? Man, we gotta do what our forefathers did. I wish we could go to another planet. I think I would. I think if aliens came to me and said, like, you're targeted and we've been monitoring this, depending on what type of aliens they were, they said, we've been monitoring this. We're going to take some of you targeted individuals. We're just going to go back to our world. We want to free you guys. You know, because I'd go. I'd go to the alien world. Yeah, DePlume says, no, they don't need cameras. I do think that they do. It's like the implant, right? It's like the normal implant that they put in your body. They don't need those now because they got nanoparticulates, nanotechnology, smart dust, and everything like that. But they still do use the regular implants. You know, it's like they just keep things around and keep using it, and then use it on top of the newer stuff so that they'll have backups. Redundant system means backup. Maybe I should just say backups from now on. The military is really big into that, about like, if this doesn't work, we're going to have a backup. If the backup doesn't work, we're going to have a backup. I think we need to do that. You know, we need, well, I mean, you know, we have been pretty much. Arachno Nixon says, by pretending to be asleep, but with my eyes wide open, they still will go into the, they still would go into their sleep deprivation tactics. If they had a cam, they would have clearly seen my eyes wide open. But maybe they saw your eyes wide open and still did the sleep deprivation tactics to make you think they couldn't see, because they can see, man. I don't know. Maybe in your targeting, they can. But Arachno Nixon, you got to figure this: if they're targeting you, they can see you, right? So they have to be able to visually locate a target to hit them. So just keep that in mind, right? And because they hit us very specifically, right? They'll hit me in the jaw and the ear. They'll put an electromagnetic field right around the ear and stuff like that. It's specific. They have to see you, you know. but I don't know how, I don't know exactly how. I think that they have a couple of ways. I think with mine, it's just radar. It's just radar that they're using to hurt me and surveil me with. Because it's like, okay, think about this. Think about the ground weapons. The ground weapons. Oh, I need to pull this up. I'll just do a short video on this because I don't want to pull anything up right now. Should I? I'm gonna have to find it. With the ground weapons, patent, if you look up the patents for ground weapons, microwave weapons, it shoots a beam first to get a picture of your target. Like, so you're shooting a microwave beam. And this is like in the description of the ground weapons. First shoots a beam to visualize the target, so you can see it. And I guess there's like something on the microwave gun so you can see. And then the next beam is to hit the target, right? And so it's something like that with the integrated directed energy weapon systems that are remote. The first beam to visualize, and then also the second beam can come in and hurt. I probably didn't say that right, but y'all get the idea. It's going to be kind of like that with the remote systems too. Yeah, Arachnonic says, Kyle, that's what I'm saying. They track our movement through walls using heat-sensitive tracking stuff. Yeah. Sophisticated, remote stuff that can be directed by satellite now. It's like so like that movie like Enemy of the State with Will Smith, where they're like zooming in. They got Google and everything, and they just have satellites in that movie. They go down to the street. Can't see inside of buildings or anything like that. Well, now the satellites can just see through every building, and even using the right technology can look into the brain, right? Look into people's houses and look into the brain. So it's like we have the weapon systems that nobody knows about and thinks people are mentally ill. It's like they can see through your home and your head and everything, and they are. How many people are they doing this to? How many people are they not targeting violently with torture, but they're just surveilling everything they do and looking in their head and gathering information of how that human being lives? Or maybe mapping the mind. Maybe they can map the mind without trauma. Maybe they're getting to that point, because I know they need, Rackner Nixon. Yeah, I need a cigarette too. I'm running out of this vape, and I gotta go get another vape this morning. Plume says they use surveying equipment. Yeah, they have a lot of methods. We need to go through some of those because I think there's information out about them. We just got to dig a little bit, and when I want to get to the information that's hidden. Some of these leaks are really good. Some of the leaks from DHS Fusion Center are good, but I think we may be dealing with because they're going to try and psyop this. The people that are doing it are going to try and screw it up. And so what I think is going to happen is they're going to start maybe releasing fake evidence and stuff like that. And we can't really even think about this. We've just got to look at everything that comes out and link it up, right, and connect the dots. But I think that they're going to I think there's going to be a lot of disinformation to kind of keep us off track, because we're getting close. We are getting close. Dennis K says V2K is definitely satellite. But Dennis, I think in most of the situations, the satellites just direct. You'd have satellite. A satellite directs the phone signal from a microwave tower and then back, right? So in this case, probably V2K. This is what I think is that the satellite, and this isn't taking implants into account, but the satellite is sending a signal to the over-the-horizon radar. Then the over-the-horizon radar is hitting you or creating a field around the head, and that's what's producing the V2K. So the satellite's directing it. Now, I'm not sure if maybe you're in a faraway place where they can't hit you with microwave towers and the over-the-horizon radar is not working. Have they set up the satellites or some of them up there just a straight shot from the satellite, just like a drone, right? My guess is yes. My guess is yes, but what we're seeing, we saw the California fires, right? Like every year, California fires, and then in some of the weather stuff. So I think that the satellite directed energy is brutal, and it's not just mechanisms in the satellite that are creating directed energy coming out of it. Like me and Charles talked about a while back. I wish he would come on. He knows a lot about like how they're harnessing stuff, electromagnetic frequencies of the Earth. So that satellite would be able to like shoot through, use the atmosphere, use electromagnetic frequencies and plasma, and then make lightning or manipulate weather or start fires, right? So I don't think that they would shoot us directly with the satellites. I think those are used for very powerful beams, very powerful directed energy, you know. Jerusha says, I don't smoke. Everybody needs a cigarette. I hope you guys are hanging in there. Let's see what's made me strong through the worst parts of this. My faith, definitely. My faith that even though it's bad, God will provide. You know, God will provide, and it's on His time. And we've got that. That's what the main thing that I have to remember. And we're just in dark times. We're just in dark times, and we've got to be we've got to be even better. We've got to be even better and more filled with joy and stuff like that. But we've also got to cry and complain about this stuff and say how bad it is. We've got to balance it, you know, the hope with the going through the trauma, right? Because that's one thing that's more than a problem for me with this long of it going on. And then like also, you know, just with everything, it's not being able to deal with the trauma and the remote artificially making it so my brain cannot deal with the trauma. And so they decompartmentalize my brain. And I know that because I used to be able to, if something really bad happened, I'd push it to the back of my mind. I'd get what needed to be done. Maybe I'd worry a little bit, but now it's at this level of everything's decompartmentalized. Everything, like in my brain, everything's decompartmentalized. Like I'm thinking about all the bad stuff all the time whenever I'm doing anything. So they've done that to my brain. I can control that a little bit. I can fight back on that. And then I forgot what I was going to say after that. But a great example of like what they're doing to the brain, you know. Cyber torture. And I was thinking of, you know, maybe we can still say targeted individuals or whatever, but we come up with a couple of new terms that we throw in there where we're like, you know, I was thinking survivor of biomedical weapons. Wait, that's not what it was. Survivor of survival of bio it was like something with experimentation, like biometric experimentation. Y'all think that would be good? Biometric what did I just say? Survivor of biometric experimentation. You know, because this is all, we see the biometrics that are coming off based off of experimentation to targeted individuals, you know. Yeah, I totally agree. Jerusalem McBear says the Bible says that God cares when a sparrow falls out of its nest. God is watching. God is with us too. I don't understand how something this evil could happen, and like some things have happened to me that I'm just like, God, come on, man. I was like, I was waiting for you to help me, and then I got something way worse when I was like almost, you know. But He has a reason for it, and I may not see it now, and maybe we don't see it in this life. You know, I don't understand everything. Some people, you know, they die, but you know, they die, they're killed and stuff. But maybe they see it in the next life. We at least have the next life. You know, maybe we'll see it in this life too. I have a strong feeling this is in the next couple of years. I don't want to say in the next year, but things are going to be changing a lot in the next couple of years, and this is going to be like a big thing. It's going to be a big story. People are going to be talking about it. Not necessarily, oh, all these people that were experimented on, but they're going to be coming out with stories like the Cuban embassy attack and then new forms of technology. And they're going to be trying to swing the narrative, right? In these next couple of years, they're going to be trying to introduce the public, because they're touring so many people with it. All these technologies are coming out. So more and more stories to kind of ease the public into it and sway the narrative away from like organized structures in our countries. The military industrial complex is doing it. They're going to be like, I mean, the Pentagon saying, oh, well, we just did the Cuban embassy attack happened. We need to research this. I mean, they're lying. Like even the good people in the Pentagon know that this technology exists, but they have to lie, right? They have to lie and say, "Ooh, this is a mystery weapon," because they got to cover up their own weapons programs. And it's the logic is just there. And what's happening in the world today, because everything is going crazy, is that people are going to the extreme illogic. They're like, oh, no, the mainstream said this illogical thing. That's what I believe. I don't know how people do that, but the logic's on the other side. The logic's outside of the system right now. There's no logic in the system. There's no compassion in the system. I guess if you want to say logic for like conquering a world, like the pyramid at the top who has a lot of money conquering a population, that's their logic right there. Paul says, King James verse 1 John 5:19, and we know we are of God, and the whole world lieth in wickedness. You guys, give me some more verses, guys. Or like Jerusha. I like that, what Jerusha said. We need a lot of that in chat. We need a lot of morale and spirituality and just connect. I'll always trust him. I don't understand his plan right now for me. Yeah, and bad things happen in life. So Tanya says, love my beautiful TI family, are the bested. We are the best at TI family. Paul says, King James Version, Psalms 25:19, consider mine enemies, for they are many, and they hate me with cruel hatred. Yeah, a lot of these microwave attackers, I think they do hate at the beginning, and they get riled up and they yell, and now I don't even feel hatred from them. It's just like a job. The guy keeps saying he has to do it, stuff like that. Y'all want to see what my V2K is saying? The woman said, I don't want to do this anymore, turn it off. And then the guy said, he said something like, he's doing and we gotta do this. But I couldn't understand it. Okay, let's read a couple more of these. We've been going for 2 hours. I wanted to hang out with you guys and show y'all some stuff. Because I had a little while till I have to go to my aunt's. And then my psychiatry appointment is at no, wait, I need to share audio with this. Okay. My psychiatry appointment is at like 1:45, but I mean, she's just going to be like, oh, you're taking the Neurontin, and I'm taking like one Neurontin a day, sometimes maybe 2. I'm kind of tapering off of it a little bit and just taking it when I need it. She's just going to be like, hey, are your medicines okay? And then she's going to say, because she has to say it every time, so you're not planning on hurting yourself or anybody else? And I like answer it before she even finished. I'm like, no. And it's so insulting. Go to another I need that lorazepam, and even the Neurontin. The Neurontin's good, like in an emergency situation. Paul Abernathy says, King James Version, Psalms 18:17, he delivered me from my and from them which hated me, for they were too strong for me. That's a good one. Yeah, because it's too big for me. I mean, I can fight it and put out information and stuff, but they've got advanced weaponry. I can't even get to them, like all of us, we can't get to our attackers. In most of our cases, we don't know the specific contractor or security industry specialist that's doing it to us. Some of us do, some of us have ideas. My attacker sent that thing with Arcadis on my phone, but that could have been a psyop, and they said they worked under the NSA, which I'd assume was like either a contractor or subcontractor under the NSA. Probably a contractor directly under the NSA is who's doing this to me, because it's very, very the brain stuff is like really it's experimenting on like a lot of half of the brain. But I know a lot of you guys are going through that too. Probably all of you guys. True Kism says, to me, it's just organized harassment within community by proxy and stalking with abuse associated. So True Kism, you don't get the weapons attacks. Do you get the weapons attacks? So some people just get gang stalking, but not. Am I still going? Chat stop. Let me go back and see. Hold on. Did they freeze me up? No, we're still going. Jerusha says, Vulcan Wolverine, all the most famous stories of the Bible are about the torture and torment of saints. This is biblical. Yeah, like think about the story Meshach, and Abednego. It's like Meshach was one of them. Meshach, Veshach, and Abednego, where they're thrown into the fire, and there's an angel in that fire. That is one of the most crucial stories. We may just need to do a live stream talking about that story. I feel like that sometimes, and I know that some of you guys. I hope that more of you feel like that. The complaining that I do, it's a human thing, but I do feel like God has surrounded me by, like there's a chain of command. There's literally up the chain, up the food chain. There's things that are all the way up to God, high rep. I can't even imagine. God is like infinite times more than our little human beings could imagine. But I really believe that situation. I've had like mutilation of my body and all this painful stuff. So it's like, come on, God, why aren't you protecting me? Why is this stuff having an effect on me? But it's just, I mean, stuff has an effect on you. But God can even, when those really awful things that you're like, this is never going to correct, this can never heal up, he can heal it. Like there are things that can mix in your pathway that can heal you, you know, and it's just you're here now, but things can change very rapidly, you know. Put the verse in Daniel 3:20, if you don't mind. Put the verse in and I'll read it. I like that when y'all send the Bible verses. Arachno Nixon says, I'm staying in an extended stay hotel and the gang stalking is hilarious. It's so over the top. Yeah. Are you okay? I had to stay in an extended stay for like a couple of months. Are you okay for a place? Do we need to set something up where you could, like, how could we talk to targeted individuals, and if somebody has a place for you to stay, you could go stay with them? Can we get that going? Because I'd like to help you, brother. And I think it'd be cheaper for you if you maybe are you trying to do that already? Well, everybody, Arachno Nixon's staying in an extended stay right now, and if anybody, but you don't need to do that. Arachno Nixon says, no, I'm about to be homeless in all likelihood. You don't need to do that. There are targeted individuals, and you're a good guy. Like, I can vouch that you're a good guy. I don't know you. I mean, I don't know you personally or anything. Like, I don't know you outside of here, but somebody would be willing to let you stay with them. You could just try and stay with somebody, and if it doesn't work out, find another person to stay with or something like that. Are you sure? Because we could start working on it. We could at least, let's put our feelers out here. Arachno Nixon needs a place to stay. Please email. Would you want them to email you? Can you you can get emails, right? Email me or him. My email is Vulcan Wolverine. I'm sure all y'all know this. Vulcan Wolverine. I'm so tired, y'all. Oh, I'm so tired. Maybe maybe my brain's just readjusting and stuff. Oh yeah, that's right. Nobody knows where. Okay, Ragnar Nixon, can you just give the state that you live in? Are you in California? Thank you, Jerusha. Yeah, we don't. So can you just give us the state? Southwest Michigan. Okay, Southwest Michigan. So Southwest Michigan, guys. If anybody lives in Southwest Michigan, and would maybe be able to give a TI a place to stay for a while, email me at Vulcan Wolverine or email Ragnar Nixon at wwolfemi@yahoo.com. wwolfemi@yahoo.com. We do need to help each other out like that. I've been bad at that lately. I've just been putting out videos because I'm so tired. But and I'm sure that, you know, Ragnar Nixon, you might want to go on the PAX website. Or I'm not sure. Maybe Ella's website has this too, and see, like, post something like, I'm living in Southwest Michigan and I need a place to stay, and probably somebody could answer on, like, I'm sure there are some boards, you know, that you can post on. Yeah, Dennis said that's a good idea. Dennis said during spring and summer, I was going to hop trains and travel light. Could use a traveling companion, maybe stay in the woods because getting fried at home. Yeah, it's better outside. It's better when you're moving around. So I wouldn't leech off of anyone. Yeah. If this is my thing, if I had money, like if I had enough money to buy to, like, you know, sell in this place, I could get some money, but I would want to go at least in. I think that I'm working up to moving out of the country. Whatever, like, I'm here for my grandma. My parents and my aunt are about to just move to Florida, and my brother would be the only one here. And so after like, you know, my grandma passed away, which I don't know when that's going to be. You know, I think it's going to be a lot different. I'm gonna just be gone. I'm gonna go to some other countries. But my problem is, like, I've got to get resources. I've spent so long. I'm just on Social Security, and I had a little bit of. I had a 401k from Dell. Went so fast. Went in the first, like, 3 years. I was such a dude. If I was still working at Dell and had my 401k, I would be like probably a millionaire. I'd probably be a millionaire. I would have stayed at Dell with my 401k. I don't know if you can really be a millionaire with a 401k, but yeah, that's it. Ragnar Nix says, Dennis, I'm honestly contemplating just dumping a shed in the woods and living in it. Sick of paying to live in places where I'll get tortured. Yeah, yeah, it's like paying. You pay for where you live and everything, and you're just murdered in your home. Yeah. I'm thinking of, like, study it more. Ecuador is a good start in my mind of a place that's not connected to the Five Eye countries, and then I'm going to look for a very small, probably maybe Japan. I was thinking about Japan because Japan's pretty independent. I think that the United States could hit me, or, you know, whatever my contract could maybe hit me in Japan, but would they continue to do it? Like, I'm interested to see what would change, what would happen if I moved to Japan. So I might, like, go there, you know, for a couple of weeks. It's all about resources though, right? Like, I'm dependent on my mom for this place, and then I get Social Security to pay my bills, and then gotten a couple of donations. I got one really big donation, was a couple $100, and I wanted to take that one, and I'm looking for a camera with a microphone and everything, do some stuff for the channel. But I use it to, like, to be able to do this. Like I want to use it for both, for like making the channel good, but it's also, it's like with how things are going, it's like I can't just keep doing. I want to do this more, you know. But I don't know. I'm so sick that the targeting mixes in, and it's like I don't know. I gotta get more energy, you know. Oh, really? Waterfall. Hey, Waterfalls. Waterfall says, when I went to Brazil, my torture changed, but it continued. How did it change? Did you not get hit by the weapons? Because I've heard a lot of people, they say that, no, this is what I've heard. I've heard some people, they say when they go to a different place that's not necessarily connected to the bigger countries, the gang stalking stops, but the directed energy weapons still hit them. That's what I hear the most. Really? Arachno Nixon says, "Oh, dude, I've heard the stalking is so bad in Japan because like Ryan Dawson lives there, and I know he's like hardcore targeted by Zionists." And what's the guy who makes the video? Oh man, he's like really James Corbin, the Corbin Report. He lives in Japan too, and it seems like James Corbin's pretty healthy. I don't know, Ryan Dawson. He looks like he's targeted to me, but he doesn't believe in it. He's like, that's Tim. He's either saying he doesn't believe in it because he knows he won't be able to talk about any of his other stuff, or he really doesn't believe it's going on. People just have to, it has to be a common topic. Directed energy weapon, we have directed energy all around us all the time. Do we not think that the military industrial complex is going to take that and try and do stuff to human beings, then look at the stuff that they're taking this energy and doing it to human beings, then listen to the human being saying it's messing with my brain, it's controlling some of my thoughts and stuff like that, and then you just put the pieces together. But it's like people can't put the piece together of scary stuff. We have to. We got hit by it. We didn't decide to do it. We had to figure it out. You know, why shouldn't they? Waterfall says they turned some tortures down and off and then turned on new ones. Oh, and psychological stuff more. Yeah, they may have used that change to change the protocol of your torture. That they've done that to me so many times. Like if I have something big in my life, you know, going on, like what's going on with my grandma or relationships or whatever, they'll use those things to kind of switch up the protocol on me and maybe do to make it feel different, as if that event did that psychological thing to me. Which the event, like big events, traumatic events do affect you, right? So that's mixed in there. They'll use it to push it a little bit more. I think it's really pushing it. It's taking traumatic feelings that you have, you know, and then they record those EEGs and then they can pump it up and put it back in, you know, and, you know, other things they do. Really, Tanya? Tanya says, my uncle went to Japan and he died there. He was on holiday. He was old. I'm sorry, Tanya. Oh, Japan. I think some of those places are really dangerous, like the Philippines or like Thailand or Vietnam. I'm not sure. You know, I don't know. Maybe like Ecuador. What about Peru? What's going on with Peru, guys? Does anybody know Peru? Does anybody heard anything about Peru? What's Peru up to? What's Peru doing these days? What's Peru doing these days? Jerusha McBear says, are we all empaths? Anyone? I'm an empath, and I wish I wasn't. I wish I wasn't an empath, but yeah, I'm a huge empath. The targeting has made it more so. Has made it more so in some ways. It's not a good world to be an empath in. And that's on purpose. Like that's on purpose. They're doing eugenics and stuff to where empaths are going to have a hard time. You know, empaths are probably going to have to change and evolve to where they don't feel everything from everyone. DePlume says, does anyone know a targeted individual story from China? Yeah, there's a guy, the leader of a group over there. And if you go to Dr. Matt Aaron's YouTube page, he has it on his page. There's a leader of an organization in China. but they like it's hard for them to speak out. They'll get just disappeared, you know. The plume says you are not an empath, you are human. I'm a human empath. I'm a human empath. I wish I was like it's an empath. Some people, you know. Neuroweapon says DARPA is the one targeting you. No, DARPA comes up with all this stuff, and then it's trickled down to the contractors. The contractors start manufacturing it on a mass scale, and they start torturing people on a mass scale, but DARPA comes up with it. The Pentagon and DARPA come up with all the processes and protocols of the torture, and the main prototypes of the weapon systems and new prototypes for new weapon systems. But then that's trickled into these manufacturers, the contractors like Lockheed Martin, Boeing, and everything like that. They start mass producing these. DARPA doesn't mass manufacture weapon systems, right? These other contractors have to do it, and then the subcontractors and contractors and subcontractors under Lockheed Martin, Boeing, and all those things, and then security industry specialists, they actually use the weapons on us, you know, and it, you know, some of the big contractors could directly target people too. I'm not sure about the details there. DARPA probably has targeted some people. DARPA's probably targeted some people like on an experimental level for the prototypes, but then it's all sent down to the contractors, you know, the agencies and agencies above, and then the contractors under them. It's a huge, like, this is the biggest business in human history. Like this directed energy weapon market, integrated directed energy weapon systems. This is the future. Like that's why the public doesn't know about it, because it's the future. And these people who are like claiming to be the high priest and all this crap, they don't want the public in on the future. They want to get the future cemented and concreted, and then let the public know when the public can't do anything. That's what they want to do. Can we change it? Is it too big? You know, is the New World Order too big? Well, I say that God's bigger, and you know, that we can make a difference. We can make a change. We can quicken things to bad things to end, and we can quicken good things to start up. So many protests and everything that it's changed people. One person stands up and says no, and you get a whole group, you know. And that's what we just got to do, no matter what happens in the world, no matter how this New World Order takeover goes down. Yeah, Tanya says Susie from New Zealand, she moved to Russia and her family. Yeah, and I think she said that the gang stalking wasn't as bad, and the weapons weren't. The gang stalking didn't happen, wasn't happening anymore, and the weapons were less. What's bullshit, DePlume? DePlume says that's bullshit. It's a way to make you feel like you're the only one that cares. What? To be an empath? Was I in this conversation? Oh, DePlume says don't let them isolate your emotions and make you feel like you are the only one with emotions. Oh no, that's not what I was saying at all. Like an empath just means like you feel people's feelings a lot. You know, it doesn't mean that other people don't feel or have emotions. Oh no, no way. No way. Just certain levels of it. It's just like how God makes people, like how somebody operates. You know, some people are like on the spectrum of feeling too much, and some people are on this. But there's people all along the spectrum, right? I'd never used to do that. Everyone has feelings and emotions. You know, no way. Really? Y'all don't like the concept of empaths? Recognition says, DePlume, thank you. Kind of how I always felt about the concept of empaths. I don't like saying it because it always affects how I feel. It's true. Like I don't know if you want to call it empath, but there are some people that feel way too much from other human beings. It's like our biofields or something with that. And I don't know the science of it. It's just like I've experienced that. I've experienced it in my life. And then I've looked at other people who I'm kind of jealous of, where it's like certain things don't seem to affect them, like things that happen to other, there's just a level of it. There's people that are more compartmentalized with their feelings and stuff like that. But I didn't say that not everybody had. So you can't. So the plume, it's not a sales pitch. There are people that are empathic. They're on a scale. Okay, so I'm not saying that people don't have, that not everyone has feelings, right? I'm just saying there's a scale of people who like feel way too much from other people, and they'll get emotions off people and stuff. And I don't know the science of it, but we have biofields and things like that. So we all work differently. And then it's a scale. And then on the other side, you would have like sociopaths who care about no one, right? And it's a science of how people are built and they operate, So there are actually, it's dangerous to say the word empath. Lori Smith says, empathy feels others' feelings. I always feel them. And you feel what somebody else is going through. Like if they're hurt, you're hurting too, They use it to victimize. I'm not using it to victimize anybody, No, I'm not trying to victimize anybody. You have feelings. I have feelings. Everybody has feelings. It's the way that people feel other people's emotions and what other people are going through. It's that, and there's a scale of it. And it's not to say everybody doesn't have emotions. Probably even sociopaths and psychopaths have emotions, on that scale. I'm just saying there's a scale of like people who are like really sensitive to people's emotions and what they go through. But I'm not using it to victimize anybody, and everybody has emotions and things like that. There are just some people where it's like, it's a DePlume says it's a common word they use to gaslight, though. Well, if your attackers are calling you empathetic and empath, then that's good. You should tell them thank you. I don't know. That word's okay to me, and I'm gonna use that. I don't see it as victimizing anybody. We that's in the chat and things like that. But it's like, even people who are not super empathic, they still have emotions. That God makes people differently, and you need people that aren't feeling every emotion of everybody, and that are a little bit more. God makes people that are like really flood into other people and feel all this stuff, and they're feelers, and then he makes people that are a little bit more can cut that stuff off, And there needs to be a balance between those things, because you can't just take in all the pain of the world, right? But you also can't ignore all the pain of the world, right? So the best way to be is to be like, that balance of it. Yeah, DePlume says, but when you are isolated and alone, it seems really alone, like nobody cares. Yeah. We'll just say, we'll just say compassionate, or like really, I was conditioned to be very empathetic because it was always a boon in my life, like caring too much, because I had so much energy in my life and helping people. We had a better society in my eyes. We lived in a good country, and people were good, like feel too much, because you could really help people with that. And usually you could trust people, right? Like, because there wasn't all these programs going on, so you could really put yourself out there and you put your heart out there and stuff. But it's like these days, people are getting paid, like half of the population, or a lot of the population is getting paid to deceive their neighbor, come on and tell lies and everything. So it's like, it's kind of at a certain point, the things that we're conditioned with that were strengths, it's like we got to take a look at that and ask God, like, do you need to change me, God? And not my diapers, but do you need to change, like, because like we're conditioned in a certain type of world, and you have to change. I don't know why I got onto that, but yeah, that's all it is. The Plume says empathy is understanding another person's sorrows. Yeah, true. And there's just certain degrees of it. There's just certain degrees of it because we all have different energy and biofields and everything like that. Never use it to victimize anybody. I was just talking about, like me, I'm like a cauterized nerve sometimes where, so did we go through all those? Let's go through this. Oh, we've been on 2.5. Let's show this. I'll show this real quick. I'm gonna, I should save it. We've been hanging out. People won't save this for a short video, so I can have more videos on my channel. They have any other like links or anything that they wanna share? Neuroweapons says, Kyle, DARPA is the largest wing in the U.S. military. Yeah, I mean, they're experimental. They're under the Pentagon, but they're not the ones directly torturing us. DARPA's not directly torturing us. It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way. But they're making the weapon. That's where it's originating from, right? The Pentagon and DARPA are working together to make prototypes, which are then passed, like then the schematics or whatever and the plans are all put out to these contractors, right? Contractors under the intelligence agencies. Like, oh, we figured this out. This would be, and the NSA looks at what DARPA is doing and says, well, this would be good for us. So we want to go ahead and contract out a couple $1 million or $100 million to Boeing to manufacture these weapons and then use them on people with this protocol. And then Lockheed Martin would manufacture those weapons, but maybe they wouldn't directly target us. They would use a subcontractor. They'd use a subcontractor or subcontractor to actually carry that out. And those subcontractors would work out of military bases, right? Because they're mixing in, like all these subcontractors and contractors will actually work at military bases with the military. It's a mixing. Military industrial complex is the best way to say military nowadays. There's no military. There's a military industrial complex. There's a marriage between corporations, manufacturing contractors, agencies and stuff like that in the military. It's all tied in. Like there is no just military without, like, because all these people, all these contractors work at military bases and stuff. Rusho McBear said, you get me to, you had me at hello. You had me at hello. Tanya says, TIs do care very much about each other. It is beautiful we have each other. It is. It is. We need so is there any other men or women who's all doing live streams? Like who's doing some pretty big live streams where we're getting like maybe they're getting like 30 people in there. Can somebody name any of them? Because I want to know. I want to like go and maybe support those or get some people to go over to those. Shanefnike of the Great White North says, TIs are targeted because there's a light inside of them that the evil system fears. The torture is to put out that light, break our spirits. Yeah, I agree. DePlume says, John 17:17, sanctify me by truth. Your word is truth. Jerusha, my sister, sent me that one. Okay, sanctify me by truth. Your word is truth. Jerusha says, John 11:35, Jesus wept. He saw the suffering of the multitudes and he literally cried. He gave his life for them. That's the gospel of Christ. Don't forget. Yeah. Jesus Christ gave his life for us. I was thinking about the fish and the fish and the bread. And I was thinking like that seems a little bit like how God has been me energy, because I always feel like I'm at the end of my rope, and he always kind of makes some more fish and some bread out of some magic straight from God, I wanted to do a video just saying, because it just seems like there's that magic to keep going. God will got this new adrenal supplement. Where is it? It's adrenal supplement right here. This adrenal support. I was getting Drenamine, but I got this adrenal support, and it made me more relaxed. It made my body feel like more in homeostasis and like a relaxed feeling, because I think they basically interfere with my endocrine system, my thyroid, and my adrenaline. So I'm not getting that, and like I always feel like real shaky, and I just feel bad all the time, right? I feel like fight or flight all the time, like my body's sick. And this kind of gave me a like I was relaxed. I felt like, oh, I'm getting something that I'm not usually getting. I just don't know. It's like we can do supplements for our thyroids and adrenal glands, but if they've constantly got remote neural manipulation interfering with the function of our adrenal glands and our thyroids, it's like we can do artificial stuff, but we just need them to stop, right? That's the bottom line of this. We just need the torture to stop. We need more people who are just speaking the truth out there. This is the biggest thing. This is the biggest thing. This is the future. Good and bad of the future is going to entail neuroweapons and directed energy and crap all up in our bodies that we don't know about it now. Individuals who's like, you guys are mentally ill. We have the most important information that you need right now. If you are a human being on the earth, we have the most important information. And then even after we tell y'all what's happening, people that aren't TIs, I don't know, because they've been building it up for so long under people's noses with nobody knowing about it. We might just have to, live through the New World Order, live through our, I don't want to say live through our targeting. I'll never accept that. I'll definitely find some kind of defense that blocks it from my brain, at least, 90%. I will not take no. I will not say I will just be tortured for the rest of my life. It's not going to happen. The next couple of years, y'all are going to see some stuff. Yeah. Okay. DePlume says, I would like to say that there are TIs investigating every day, and they are finding evidence and to not give up. Awesome. Thank you, DePlume. So true. So true. Yeah, I agree. Neuroweapon says DARPA is the reason you're being targeted. It's a bunch of people. You can't. This is the thing that we want to do as people. We want to go, aha, DARPA. Dart on the board, boom. They're the group. But they've spread this crap out. Like there's so many people complicit in doing this that DARPA comes up with it, right? DARPA comes up with these advanced projects, but the Pentagon funds, the Pentagon funds it and is involved in it, and then it comes down to here. But if DARPA didn't exist, would this program be as big as it is? Probably not. So you're right. It plays a big role. It plays a huge role. It plays the biggest role of coming up with the stuff. So maybe somebody about DARPA. Maybe somebody do something about DARPA. We'll start doing something about DARPA. Maybe, if you know what I mean. If you know what I mean. I'm just joking. I'm joking and making fun. We can't do anything violent. However, I was thinking, we can't talk on YouTube. I can do activism and talk, but I can't talk about anything real. And I'm never going to do anything violent, but I want to kind of look into, this is a theoretical thing. You saw those things in like the 1980s, maybe 1980s, 1990s, where people would kind of like, this is just something that I've been looking into. It's not, there's theories about stuff. And I was interested in that. And I was just interested in it, nothing to do with targeting or activism or anything else. And it's just like, they patch into networks, say like HBO or like some kind of pay-per-view thing, and they would patch in signal, and they could like kind of put whatever they wanted on the camera. Is that even possible nowadays? I just want to know, is it possible nowadays? Are these signals, is like the mainstream media, are they segregated? Could you patch into a main signal on an important night? Theoretically, I'm not saying do any, I'm not going to ever do, I'm just saying, could you, and we need, you know, and we need some group. See, I don't know how this is going to work, because they're listening to everything we say. They're in our head, and we need some privacy in a group. And that's the whole thing about this. I mean, that's why, I mean, it's not checkmate because of God and because we're going to keep going and the public's going to become aware, but like really planning something, you know, checkmate. They're looking like, I bet you there are people, I bet you there are people out in society, you know, some militia people that have tried to get together and plan some things maybe. And there's always remote neural monitoring probably on at least one in there. It's like they're never gonna plan anything successful, you know. Maybe so. I think protesting, doing everything out in their face, out in the streets, out in the open. We do everything out in the open. It's kind of like everything in the future is going to be, everybody's going to be surveilling everybody, right? Or Big Brother's going to be surveilling everybody, and everybody's going to pretty much know what everybody's doing. Maybe we can get in on that in a freedom way, where it's like, all right, yeah, we're being, well, and targeted individuals do this, but like, hey, yeah, we're being watched, so let's go out and protest, and let's do all this out in the open, and just. But then if you say certain things out in the open, you can be locked up, or you can be even I think like I've been talking to people and their targeting has increased a lot. Like my targeting has gotten way worse, and it was right after Joe Biden got elected, and I think it's due to the you know, patriots, the people who would be the closest to like our founding fathers being declared domestic terrorists in our country. And I think I was labeled as that because I watch all those things. So I think my attackers were able to get some more serious crap on me. I really do, because like I watch high impact blogs. He's a patriot. You know, so I watch a lot of stuff about the Capitol. I love Mr. Reagan. Mr. Reagan is a great channel. He organizes stuff. I look at his channel and I'm like, I need to do some of that. Like rambling on with the mind control is so dangerous. It's so dangerous, and usually I have to be really reserved. It's conditioning me to be like really reserved because I'm not sure what they're gonna put in my head that I've got to like catch and not say, or the memory stuff. And I look at Mr. Reagan's channel. I'm like, man, he just sits there. He has an organized topic. He edits some of the stuff. Maybe I should start working on some of that so we can get bigger views. At least it would be experimenting with, if I do some good stuff, would it get more views? And it would just be easier on my energy levels. And then do some live streams, like have Jeff on, have some other people. And that Jeff O. If people think I'm talking about Jeff C. and I've just gone insane, it's another Jeff. Arachnonic says, to plume, my pipe dream is to buy an island in Lake Michigan, make it a sort of sanctuary community for TIs. Oh, that's awesome. That's a good pipe dream. That is a good pipe dream. You won the lottery before, Arachno Nixon? Lori, hey, Lori says, yesterday, Amanda Grace said, God said, now is time to stand with no fear. He will be with us, fighting for us. Amen. Amen. Amen, definitely. I just feel, I guess the remote neural manipulation is very complicated. It can do complicated things to the brain and emotions, and it's made me rethink it's like almost all the time how to judge people, especially people that are targeted. And there's artificial of things that can be done to the brain and the nervous system that look like fear, like pain and fight or flight and things like that. And I feel like even in the target individual community, it's like we still kind of just judge people as like, oh, you're a nervous Nelly, or that's just your personality. When these remote neural manipulation weapons, they're they can make you feel things and act certain ways, you know. And I've always been like, well, you still have a choice, right? You still have a choice on what you do, You have a choice on your actions, right? But I just feel like this technology and what they're doing to the brain, we have to, as human beings, like everyone, like the bad people and the good people are going to have to reevaluate how we judge others as, you know, because it's like somebody's good, I don't know. I guess that gets too complicated. I don't want to talk about that on these live streams on YouTube. There's a lot of new stuff. If you watch Gabriel Cruz's channel, he's brilliant. He's brilliant about ley lines and bio, like our biofields and stuff like that. These are new areas of science that they're just calling new age poop, because they're working on that. The military industrial complex is working on messing with people's bio ores and stuff like that, with the energy that their brain puts out and things like that. And so I think we need to get into that science, and it makes me look at people different, even people that are like, you know, I don't know, it just makes me think about the whole thing differently. Because sometimes it's like, when you're being targeted, it's not really a choice. You can't really choose how you feel. You can push through it, you know, but I agree with that. We need to have no fear. We need to have no fear. And then people that are mind controlled, you need to push against it with as much high resonance and get with God. And just, like, as a matter of fact, I'm just going to say a short prayer right now. You know, God, please help me with the remote neural manipulation. Help me to keep going. And I do feel better when I start doing live streams, because it's like I'm not just sitting here, or I'm not just talking to one person. It's like a different thing I'm doing. So. Oh, the patent deployment. Yeah, I don't have. It's on my phone, and I kind of wanted Jeff to come on. I kind of wanted Jeff to come on and talk about it. Yeah, I'm gonna kind of wrap it up. We've been going for like almost 3 hours. Let me read some of y'all's comments. We'll maybe read one more of these things real quick. But you guys, please sign this petition. I'm gonna be looking for anything like this, so please send it to me. And we just need to be hitting at a lot of different angles. We see the whites of their eyes. You know, we see their eyes fire with not violence for guns. And Deborah Verdon says, I am 65 years old and tortured with remote. Did we read this one? I'm 65 years old and tortured with remote neural monitoring, directed energy weapons, scalar waves, microwave torture, and much more 24/7. I'm stalked, followed, have a made-up smear campaign on me, road rage, monitored, and much more. My phone is tapped. My TVs, my laptops, my band. When I'm in my home or at my jobs, at the store, I get tortured with weapons. I have solid proof. Most of my family disowns me. My only daughter disowns me, and so much more. Please help me. Yeah. So many people. It's just an unbelievable amount of people with overwhelming evidence. And you know, after a while, I think one thing that happens, it's happened to me, is I start like, I'm like, where is everybody? You know, there's so many people, like, you'll just talk and, yeah, my daughter's targeted, or blah, blah, or this or that. And it's like, where is everybody? But that's my feeling. People are out there trying to get information out, trying to do big things, but like that news isn't traveling because our communication networks are so controlled, you know, by the Pentagon, like almost straight from the Pentagon. Oh yeah, yeah. The plume says you did not give up anything to survive. I don't know. I've lost a lot. I mean, like, I think of like, you heal up and you kind of become something different, but like not like I'm not whole. Like I'm not whole at all. Like I've been hurt so bad. Like I said, man, I've had so much pain from this stuff sometimes that I like literally did not feel like a human being. Like literally, you know, you're sitting there with your body and you're like a human being. Like some of the mutilation and pain so bad. Like I literally did not feel like a human. Like I didn't feel like that's, it's very hard to explain, but some of the pain was like that. It messes you up. I did. It's in the description, Arachno Nixon. It's just in the description of the video. Just go to the description of the video and get it there. Yeah, Kyle, Tanya says, Kyle, I've been mind controlled so bad. And TIs, be careful when you are on the phone. Yeah. Neuroweapon says Department of Advanced Research Projects Agency is targeting you. They come up with the prototypes and everything. There's contractors under intelligence agencies and everything, and security. They're doing the targeting. DARPA is not doing the targeting, but I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. They are definitely involved, and they are definitely involved in making all these weapons. And this is just true, so I'll just say it. It's not a situation that it's like I found Interpol. That's them. It's everyone. It's all these different organizations. The Pentagon, DARPA, making these weapons and planning this stuff. And in other countries, you'd have something like the Pentagon and DARPA, or maybe even in some smaller countries, DARPA's working over there, but then it trickles down to DIA, the NSA, and all the DOD and everything, and they want to do specific researches for whatever they have going, and they have contractors and subcontractors under them, right? So DARPA gets the prototype weapons, and then it goes to these major contractors under the intelligence agencies and NSA, like Boeing, Northrop & Grumman, Halliburton, all those things, right? And then they manufacture the weapons. Some of those larger contractors may do some of the targeting, but I think they contract it out, right? And this is just to simplify this complicated thing that I'm saying and stumbling, you know, like, oh, this is a simplified explanation. When they do world murder, when they do world experimentation, these evil people, they think about it, they use algorithms to think about this, they make it complicated because we always want to go, it's DARPA. You know, and I'm not getting on you at all. I've done the same thing. I'm like, oh, it's the CIA or it's the DIA. But you can't point your finger at one agency because everyone's colluding in on this, you know. But they're a big part of it. I'll give you that. They're a huge part of it. They're the biggest part, because if they didn't come up with the prototypes and do all the experimentation and research on microwaves and everything, then there'd be no weapons to mass manufacture. The contractors would not have the weapon systems to upgrade, manufacture, and all that stuff. So you're right. You're right. I mean, yeah, basically DARPA's targeting us, you know. DePlume says, I don't think the government would rape me. But it's not the government. Like, you keep saying the government. Like, you always say, you're like, it's the, you know, I don't think but it's not the government. Like, the government, the president, the judges, the executive branch, the legislature, they're not targeting us. You got the legislative branch, and you got lobbyists for directed energy weapons, right? But they're not telling them that they're experimenting on human beings. So then the Congress and even the president will, you know, submit funds to be sent to black projects for directed energy weapons. You got a directed energy weapon caucus. You know, we need to be calling those Congress people's offices every day, because who knows if they're told that they're used on people, right? So you got the legislative branch that gives money, that shovels money into the military-industrial complex. The military-industrial complex is not, it's more powerful than the government ever is. It controls, The military-industrial complex stole the last election. Like they do this in other countries, right? They do this in other countries. They change elections and stuff like that. Military-industrial complex said, we don't want this other president. We want the old guy. He's going to die. That's what they said, and then they did that. So you see, the military-industrial complex is much more powerful. Can just overthrow the government and hush everybody up because it has the mainstream media, right? Because the mainstream media is part of the military-industrial complex. It's a monster. It's a Frankenstein monster that really the government sits alongside of, is blackmailed by it and all this stuff. But the government, the military-industrial complex, is like feasting on the government. It takes the government and it shows it to the people and it says, look, these are your leaders and stuff like that. And then it manipulates them and everything like that to kind of show what it wants to the people and carry out what it wants, you know. So it's not really the government. Okay, well, let me answer that. DePlume says, why would a government have citizens? Now let me answer that for you, because I know factually the answer to that question. The government, a government of a country, but it's not. It's the military-industrial complex of these countries, of all these countries doing it. They have to experiment on people in their own countries because they don't want, like, say the United States. It's experimenting on United States citizens because it doesn't want Russia to get the secrets that it's getting. It doesn't want Russia to see the mind mapping data and everything like that. They have to do it in-house to keep the secrets they want in-house. This is the every country has experimented on their citizens since the dawn of the countries. Like it's happened. Like the syphilis test that they did. What was that? What were those guys called? People have been experimented on by the American government. Other governments have done it since the beginning of time. You know, I mean, I know we don't want to believe it. I get that. I understand how we don't want to believe it. I don't want to believe this is happening either, but it's happening. You know, they have to do it in-house, the plume, because they don't want the secrets going elsewhere. The United States wouldn't experiment on Russian citizens, right? Because then Russia would catch wind of it. It would intercept those frequencies and learn exactly what the United States is doing, right? So the United States has to do it on its own citizens. Russia has to do it on its own citizens. China has to do it on its own citizens. You know, there's no compassion, even from just our regular government. They don't really care about. I saw some care from Donald Trump. I saw that he actually did care about people. I don't sense it from Joe Biden at all. You know, I don't sense it. And then you got Nancy Pelosi in there who could give a crap. She's going to spend so much money on just trying to make Trump look bad or whatever. She could give a crud about what's going on. This is how, okay, Plume says, but how do you know it's not China? Here's how I know it's not China. Because China, if China experimented and hit U.S. citizens with this stuff, the United States and the Pentagon would be all over it. They would want to intercept those frequencies and learn about it. And if China was doing this to us, the American government would be listening to us. They would be listening to us and they'd be like, China's doing this to our citizens. Probably what's going to happen, and this is going to be a lie, but probably that's going to happen, is that the United States is going to say, oh, some of our citizens are being hit with microwave weapons, it must be China or something like that. The narrative will probably swing that way, but they don't do that because you know, because they have to keep the experimentation. Like the other country would get their secret if they hit people in that country. Now in the wars to come, they're going to be just frying people. Like, I mean, and they're going to be starting to use robots and drones and stuff like that, but they're going to just be frying people. Neuroweapons. Okay, I'll read that. It's a simplified thing that doesn't mean anything, is what you're doing. What you're putting in the chat is like a simplified thing, and it's a lot more complicated. You said, I know facts. DARPA is the one targeting you. DARPA makes the prototypes, it develops all the ways to do it, and then, like I said, it goes to the contractors, the intelligence agencies and DOD. They contract it out for manufacture, and then the manufacturers sometimes will target too, but they'll get subcontractors and security interests. Which you're going Eureka DARPA, and it's just not simple. They make all the stuff. But this is my point, is that somebody in DARPA, like somebody working in DARPA right now, is not shooting me with directed energy weapons. My attackers are most likely a contractor or subcontractor under the NSA. That is the most likely who my attackers are. The NSA is contracting out tons of mind control and mind mapping. This is a fact. This is a fact. The DIA, the CIA, is also doing. The NSA, big time. The NSA, big time, is mapping people's brains and seeing if they can get people to do stuff and stuff like that. Contractors on it, big time. Now, the whole country, I think the whole country was hacked a long time ago. But DePlume says, hello, the whole country was hacked this year. Yeah, it wasn't... Yeah, you say solar winds. I guess I'll make a video on that because you think it's pretty important. Really, Laurie Smith says China is cremating people with virus while still alive. Wow. Joshua Von Minden said, I've had V2K straight for 2 years. Yeah, man, I've had it for 10 years, man. Yeah, I love that statement, Arachno Nixon. Jerusha, that line Reagan had, 2 scariest statements. I'm from the government and I'm here to help. Our government is completely corrupt, guys. The government's completely corrupt. So when you're talking about the military-industrial complex, they're satanic. The military-industrial complex, they want to conquer the population because they're getting orders from globalists, and the globalists want to conquer the population, conquer it slowly. So the military-industrial complex is just chain of command, taking orders from the Pentagon. The Pentagon is taking orders from more global, the global oligarchy. So you have all the way down the line, like military-industrial, they're trying to conquer the population. They're not trying to make things safer. They're not trying to protect people. They're not trying to do anything of that. It's destruction. They want to destroy this country. They want to destroy America, especially because when America falls, and it'll join in the New World Order, a lot of other countries will also fall. You know, DARPA makes the stuff. They make the stuff. They prototype the stuff, but they're not the ones that are operationally or experimentally targeting us. You know, I just think there's some people, and this is a good thing. This used to be a good thing to say, to look at a problem and go, Eureka, I found that who's doing it or whatever, and it worked. And it's worked since we've been cavemen, that's worked, right? But now it's like things aren't so simple. The way that the upper pyramid is doing things, it's because we work that way as humans, because we're like, we need to find a solution, and we want to just go, it's this, and they know that, so they make it, make up this word called conspiracy theorists, and then they make things hella complicated, because they want to hide it. They want to hide something in plain sight. Why don't you make it complicated so that when somebody explains it, they instantly sound like a mental patient, What do y'all think I should say to my psychiatrist today? I'm just going to go in there. I'm just going to be like, yeah, I'm doing good. I'll just be like, I had this infection in my tooth that was hurting me, and that's better. And yeah, the medicine's working. And okay, neuro weapon, goodbye now. Goodbye. 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 I don't know what you want me to say. DARPA is not targeting us. They're making the weapons. They're making the technologies. It's not like DARPA is like DARPA is like AIM in Marvel movies or something, and they have a bunch of facilities and they're all DARPA facilities. DARPA does have some facilities where they make up prototypes, but then contractors carry out the stuff. I mean, I can just show you the contractors' websites. I don't know why we have this discussion still. Like, I put out a bunch of videos like on who's doing this, the contractors, talking about the directed energy weapons. Why? It's the military industrial complex. The Air Force Research Laboratory puts out hundreds for smaller subcontractors to pick up and do human experimentation. I put out a video on that. Like, that's it. You know, I don't know. I don't get that. I don't get that. Everybody who comes at, like, every targeted, I think targeted individuals were so individualistic and creative that some targeted individuals come in, they see the information that's been put out, but they say, I want to make my own painting. I want to have solution to this, but it's not like that. It's what's happening. Like, I think that we're a creative group, and people are like, I want to have my unique outlook on this, and my unique who I think is doing it. That's a bad way to do things. You know, that's a bad way to do things. Somebody wants to come in with something new, like, oh, nobody said it before, but it's wrong. But nobody said it before, you know. I don't know. Happy Friday, everybody. It is Friday. It's like 6 o'clock, so I gotta go soon, guys. And no offense to Neuro Weapon, man. I mean, if you're talking about it, that's great. DARPA is not targeting us. It's not a simple little thing where you can point and go, it's the CIA. You know, it used to be like MK Ultra. You could have pointed, well, no, it was still the CIA and then subcontractors, right? Front companies. They called them front companies then, people that could be doing it, but it's like they're kind of linked to the CIA. But if they get caught, they're not linked to the CIA, right? So these contractors that are doing it, they have the link to the subcontractors and security industry specialists have a link to the bigger contractors. The bigger contractors have a link to the intelligence agencies and the DOD, right? But it's separation by degrees. So if they do happen to get caught, they can just say, oh, it was all you little contractors at the bottom. We got to route out that corruption, right? And then all the Pentagon, the DARPA, and all the intelligence, they stay safe, even though this corruption was done, right? So they have these scapegoats doing it. They have the scapegoat people and the smaller contractors doing the violent activity just in case something bad goes down, they all get caught. The Pentagon will be safe, right? It hasn't done it. It's not physically targeting anybody. It contracts it out and separates it, right? So it's not only separated from the government by the military-industrial complex, but the military-industrial complex separates it out to private contractors to actually do. I mean, the government's not doing this. It's funneling money into it. But actually, we could just say, because there are contractors that are working for intelligence agencies, but they're independent businesses. So we really just have independent businesses working in military bases, pretty much. I mean, they have the what's it called? Like, they had the intelligence agencies, the Pentagon give them the orders to give them the contract to do it, but it's really private businesses murdering us, private businesses working for the military. If you think about it a certain way, it's private businesses that are murdering us with these weapons. Really, Shanifnik of the, I love that name. Shanifnik. It sounds like I'm saying something. Is that something backwards? Is that something bad backwards? Did you guys see Biden? Where he said the N word? I'm thinking somebody like in his ear. Like, I think Obama is like in his ear. He has a team of people and they just like screw around with him, and they're like, and they put in they say the N word in his ear, and then he says it. You know, I think they're just screwing around with him. Like, he's got people in a what's it called, little headset thing. Shinifnik of the Great White North. That's a great name, man. Oh my God, Neuro, did you not read what I wrote? DARPA did not exist when my targeting started. It probably did. DARPA's existed since like 1950 something. Like DARPA's existed for a long time. Because you had when the internet was created, it was DARPANet, right? Was it ARPANET or DARPANET? I can never get those straight. Hey, Awaken World. Awaken World says, blessing to all TIs. Awaken World says, this stream is my lifeline today. Well, I hope you like it. We kind of hung out. We did a petition. I signed the petition. I didn't give any money, but I did share it on Twitter. So if you have a Twitter account, please put this on your Twitter page and sign up for it. Let's see. Let's check it now. Let's check it and see if it's gone up since this video. And I had something else, but I kind of want to just save it. Let's see how much it's changed. And then I'll show you guys. Wait. Oh, okay. It said 0 had signed. And I was like, what? I think this video actually made a difference, guys. Let me show y'all. Not a huge difference, but kind of a difference. Joshua Von Minden says, anybody know about Faraday cages? They do work. They don't stop everything. Yeah, Lori Smith says the whole cabinet is Obama's people. Yeah. Arachno Nixon, look it up. He dropped a hard N with a D at the end. And it was he was like, blah, 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 but it was like really bad. And I do think it was people in his ear. I think that they were screwing around with it, maybe. I think it's worse that he says that his people can't get online as good. And then this guy, this really funny black dude, did a what's it what's the one where it's real quick, right? It's real quick. Oh, maybe I can. Oh, man, I need to be ready to look stuff up. Hey, Drunk Ninja, what's the D part? It's at the end of it, at the end of the word. What was I looking for here? What was I going to show y'all? I completely forgot. Oh yeah, this. But is this the one that changed? Let's see. Yeah, look, 2,795. At the beginning of my video, they were like 2,600 and something. So it keeps going up. Like it keeps going up. I bet you in so there's about 3,000. Let's see if anybody I want to go to the list of people. How do I just go to the list of people? Let's see if anybody from my chat. Did y'all do it? Cheryl O'Brien, D. Wilkes, Lorraine Valente. Can you go down this thing? Doesn't look like anybody from my chat. Maybe so. Maybe their name. Maybe they're. Yeah, that's true. I don't want to show y'all's real names or anything. Okay. All right, guys. So it's about 6. Definitely happy Friday. Yeah, Awaken World says I tried radiation protection blanket. It helps a bit. Yeah, some of those passive shielding things do work. And if somebody is like looking for shielding stuff, check out my playlist, just shielding and defense, and you can get some good ideas. It's mostly that stuff, and then I'm going to try the ionizing, foot bath to get all the toxins out. 2 of these on right now, and these kind of work. It doesn't help with the memory stuff. I feel it's like hot right here. It's like they hit me in the front of the brain all the time. It's like something that goes straight through. Shinifnik of the Great White North says there's no recourse for the targeting. It's at every level of the government and above. The only way to get out is to take down the system altogether. That's just my thought about it. I kind of think that there's a lot of good people who kind of know some things about it, don't know anything at all about it, or being targeted right. We got to get all the good people who like don't like this. We got to get them stronger. That means more of us, right? Not just targeted individuals, but people within the system. There has to be more whistleblowers so that people feel courageous to come out and talk about it, right? And so that's going to be like hitting these offices with letters, petitions, things like that, so that we're sure that if they are good in those offices, they know about it, right? And at this point, people have been sending petitions and everything for so long, they do know about it. People know about it. So what we've got to hope and we've got to keep pushing is that there's people like in the government and doctors and everything, and they're trying to push along. They're trying to be careful. People like Niels Melzer, 2 to 4 years, right? I think he understands what he's dealing with here, and he's probably the most stressed out man in the world, other than us that are actually being targeted. But I think that he is going to try in some way take this on. Now, how he's going to do that, if it's just going to be a complete like, he may try and work with the countries first and say, look, this has got to stop or something like that. How do we stop this thing and keep the world intact? I don't know. I don't know. So complicated. Just give it to God. I just know in a lot of ways things are going to get better. Right now, it's just a lot of stuff. It's a right now thing for me. And the targeting is really bad, but like why I'm doing so bad is a right now thing. Yeah, Drunken Ninja says you will feel calmer in a Faraday cage, but it won't stop the V2K. Yeah, my Faraday cage didn't stop the V2K either. It's a certain frequency. When I put magnets here, like these little neodymium magnets, they're about 25-pound pull, maybe 50-pound pull, no, 25-pound pull. Put them around the ears. It really did affect the V2K. Racknuck says, when has the government ever taken any problem and actually solved it, not just create more problems? I can't think of a time either. Yeah. We need it. We need a government. At this point, it's like, talking about small government is just a waste of time because we've got a global government. We've got a global hidden government. Does everybody understand that? There is a global oligarchy. All these countries' leaders have to go through the CFR, the Council of Foreign Relations. You've got the Bilderberg Group and everything. If they're going to elect a politician, that politician has to be like the upper level politicians of any country. It has to deal with CFR and these global institutions now. So they're trying to not tell people but it's coming out, right? They did that Time article. Then the World Health Organization did this huge thing on there's a massive conspiracy, blah blah blah, but it's not really a conspiracy. I need to show that. Yeah, Laurie Smith says NWO government now. It's biblical. Yes, it's the New World Order government. It looks a certain way to some people. They're like, America still kind of exists, right? And it does. Like they have to create, our leaders and the global leaders have to create an illusion that some of us still have freedom, right? They can't just start killing the whole percentage of the population, because then they would rise up. So what they do is they grab this little percentage of every country and they go, okay, we're going to microwave y'all and destroy your minds, experiment on you and stuff like that. And then they kind of go, okay, we're going to take a little bit more percentage. We're going to do that, corona pandemic and everything. A lot of people are going to die on this and stuff like that. And then it's going to be weather manipulation and it's going to climate change. Lots of tsunami. We'll take this percentage. We'll scoop them, right? And they just a little bit of the percentage of the population at a time, right? Scooping them out. scooping them out and doing weird stuff to them, you know. I guess really the pandemic, though, it hits the entire population, but within that whole worldwide pandemic, they scoop out a couple people. Oh, we're going to destroy your businesses. Yeah, we're going to, like, your kid's playing with another kid. You're under arrest. You're going to jail. Oh, you didn't want to leave. You went outside. We're going to shoot you in the head. You know, it's like, you know, stuff like that. You wanted to go for a walk today, so we got our bow and arrow and we just shot you in the back of the head. Samsonite, hey Samson, I haven't seen you in forever. Samsonite says Neil Chevier said that the world is run by 5 major syndicates. I don't know. I mean, you got the system. I know how the system's kind of made in a pyramid, and I think that the top of the pyramid is straight Jacobins, right? They're straight up Jacobins, Satan worshipers, Zionists, you know, the Rothschilds and Rockefellers and stuff. But then you got like these factions under the top of the pyramid, the neo Satanist progressive things that they've created. They've created these cult structures so that people can kind of fight it out there too, and we can all be fighting it out at every level, and the top of the pyramid just sucks in all the resources and everything. This world is being run for a couple of people at the top. Make no mistake about it. And people have to know that, so maybe we can rise up. We can it's the world is being run, and people are being chopped up and experimented on. This technology, there may be certain things like in every country that are advancements and everything like that, but most of the knowledge is going to go just straight up, and it's going to be hidden more. Really intense knowledge that they learn about this stuff, mapping the brain, everything, it's going to be hidden immediately. The people that gathered the knowledge are probably going to be killed, and it's going to be sent up higher to be hidden, and then they'll do some more stuff, you know. Jerusha says, there are sheep and goats. There's wheat and tares. We can hope, but goats aren't going to turn into sheep, you know. Yeah. Yeah. I just think there are people that are confused in society too. There's people that are confused. There's people that have so much trauma, so they might not be very nice or whatever. There's just lots of different categories, and it's like there's more good people in the world than bad. You know, is basically what I think. But yeah, there's goats that will never turn into sheep, and people are learning as the world gets harder. And this is what happens as the world gets harder. You'll see people get like, oh, well, you know, somebody's being nice. They're a target, or they're a what do they call them? They're a buffoon, and you don't want to be a buffoon too. So you need to prey on people that are nice, because that's weak. You're going to see a lot of that. Like it's going to be a mafia type thing. You got that guy. I forgot his name, but he was in the mob, and he has a YouTube channel that gets like 500,000 views whenever he makes a video. I mean, he's killed people and done, and he's like a hero to people. He's a hero to people. I mean, of course, now he's given his life to Jesus Christ, and he's like, don't do that stuff. But then he makes it sound cool when he's talking about it, like all the mafia stuff. You got a bunch of mobsters on YouTube. They've got huge channels making tons of money, people worshiping them and thinking they're the coolest thing since sliced bread, right? You've got people worshiping a mob mentality of like killing people, killing innocent people, and it's cool. It's like The Sopranos. They've started that thing a long time ago. So a lot of people in society, they have very, very different philosophies than you or I. That are like, you need to be compassionate, not kill people, and do things the right way. To be kind of like a hero to people or something, you know what I'm saying? Be even better and compassionate and stuff like that. You got people out there, I have no idea what they're thinking. I do not feel safe in this world, because you pass by a person, or you even talk to a person, you have no idea. That's why I said on my videos, like, you know, if somebody's really talking about like their faith and stuff like that, it's like, I'm like, yeah, I can get down with that if it's genuine. Sometimes like I'm not, like I'll get on videos and I'm so tired, and it's not like I don't believe in God or anything, but people will be like their faith, and I'm like, yeah. And I never mean to do that. But yeah, if somebody's like talking about their faith, I'd be willing to, because you just don't, there's so many different philosophies. There's satanic philosophies that have grown so big, and they've been put on mainstream shows. Like all these shows that the youth watch about vampires, and it's cool to be sexy and kill guys, and you're the woman, right? Like you're not going to take it or anything. And like, I don't know, there's just a lot of stuff out there that's flowing down. And it's like, I don't know what people have in their heads. It seems like what I have in my head, people like it, like 'cause I'm a good guy, but it seems to be going extinct. It seems like all the good people we're trying to huddle together. How can everybody be so evil? And then more and more people, more and more people are becoming evil. Yeah, DePlume says, what he is saying is that people are greedy, and it's our job to be witnesses of the wicked and teach the lessons that we learn. Yeah, definitely. Who says that? Yeah, knowledge is power, and we have the truth. That's a big threat. The truth is a huge threat. I mean, they're trying to, with the system of conditioning in the entire system, they're trying to make it so people believe that lies are truth and truth are lies, right? The process. I got something on my screen here. They're doing a huge process of shifting reality to where it's like the truth seems like a lie. Look at this. Look, we're being targeted with microwave weapons. We're being murdered. We need help. Like, we need help. We're attached to these microwave attacks, and they're harassing us, and everybody's trying to cover it up. It's freaking true. And everybody's just like, wow, you're so mentally ill. You know, the biggest truth, the most important truth is called mental illness. And I'm going to have to go to my psychiatrist. Like, and these people, what's happening is good people are starting to get double-minded. So it's not even like, oh yeah, we know that you're targeted now and we can just come over to that side. What happens to them is they go insane because they know that you're not crazy, that you're making sense, but they've been taught all their life that that can't happen, and their mind just splits, and it just hurts them. Like, I mean, we have to tell people, but it's like, I'm just saying how evil this is from the top. It's meant to destroy everyone. So if you're participating, like microwave attackers, their remote neural mind, you're watching me on this, they're going to kill us all. Like they're not, it's not going to, you're not joining anything. You can't join anything. The top of the pyramid is it. And there may be a couple of, you're not going to get out. We all need to fight this evil and this system. But the problem is that the system gives people money, the system gives people life, and people are like, well, I'm going to choose the money and to take care of my family, and I'll just become evil or whatever, and hurt other people. I can't make that choice. You guys can't make that choice, but a lot of people can. They're like, well, it's just like The Walking Dead or whatever, and there's zombies, and I got to make hard decisions, right? That's the kind of society that we're rolling into, where even good people would be like, oh, well, I'll vehicular stalk some innocent person because I need money. It's about survival. It's hard to survive. Everybody for themselves, right? That's what the top wants to make everything. But you also know, I mean, this is just a metaphorical situation in The Walking Dead. And I think everybody does kind of lose their minds and become violent psychopaths. Is there anybody that stays good in that? Okay, off of that metaphor, people are going to stay good. I'm going to stay good until I die. You guys are. Joshua Von Minden said a video called DOD Brian Tewksbury gives good information on how this program is built. Yeah, Brian too has a channel too, guys. I don't know, like somebody said, I'm pretty sure it's his channel. He's been putting videos up there. All right, guys, 6:40. I gotta go. I gotta hurry. I love y'all. We'll do more. I gotta talk to Jeff. I'm gonna talk to Jeff this weekend. I don't want to, like, if he's feeling bad, I don't want to force him to get on here. But I think what I would maybe do, especially for targeted individuals that are really hurting real bad, maybe we could bring on some information. Yeah, dude, Drunk Ninja Peace, man. Want to bring on information, we just do it casually. We just come on here and know, like, we don't have to be organized. Don't worry about it. Relax and go through the information as much as we can because we're being targeted. that I kind of want to do that style. We'll see. I have so much stuff I want to do. Usually, yeah, wake and roll. Take care. God bless. DePlume says yes, and stand up for yourself, Lori, because you are awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, everybody stand up for yourself. I'm gonna. I don't want to. I was gonna say a joke about my psychiatrist, but it may be taken the wrong way. I was gonna say I'm just gonna walk right into that psychiatrist's office and just punch her right in the face. I'm not gonna do that. Thank you for coming, Dennis and Jerusha and Laurie. Laurie says, peace, everyone, my lifesavers. God bless you all. We're getting through this. Let's fill out the, let's get that, let's get the petition up. Let's get the numbers up for it, right? And then maybe we can do other petitions. It's going to give, you know, it's going to at least get to the eyes that we need to see it. See if it changed. Let's see how much. 277. Gonna re-upload it. $2,000s. No, it was more than that. It's more than that. It's more than that. 2,777. 78. Look, it's like one every couple of seconds. Go and do that and spread that around. Put it on your Twitter page. Everybody put this on your Twitter page. Let's get it today. I think if you spread this around on Twitter here and people that are watching my video put it on your Twitter account and spread it around, I think they get to 5,000 by the end of the day. Most definitely. All right, I love you guys. You know, I'll be back on soon. Just stay strong. Got a lot of information I want to get out and stuff. We'll get there. We'll get there. Just stay strong and we'll hang out. I need to do something on D Live. Like maybe, I don't know. Yeah, DePlume says people are investigating. A lot of people are looking into things. A lot of people are sending me information that I can't even get it all out. Really? Chef Nipnip of the Great White North says, oh, shoot, I was permanently kicked off. I just use mine to post videos, and then I post it to this. I'll probably just use it to post like important petitions and things like that. I usually do, like, I'll look at it and I'll be like, I don't really have anything to say for the day. The only thing I'd have to say for the day, very creative, like in a while, but like, hey, this targeting sucks. Why are we being murdered? Nobody's doing anything about it. I mean, that'd be the tweet for the day. Just tweet that every day. No, we need to tweet some, you know, I could tweet some maybe motivational or spiritual things. I don't know. We're going to see a lot of miracles. I just picked my nose. That's miracle number one. Yeah, DePlume says, don't give up. DePlume says they found one server. Hang tough. Yeah. They found a server of people who were like targeting people. Well, there's a lot of evidence, a lot of things around this. And I guess we'll talk. I'll